smack your opponent. Be generally good people and have fun. Round will begin officially at 4:30.
I've just heard them scream.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to round 3 of the Nova Open. Age of Sigmar GT here. Round 3 of 8. We have Evan Markham, his Blades of Corn, facing off against the Owen Jackson and his Beast of Chaos. Now, I just asked these players for a bold prediction before they get started, and Owen was quick to predict that his opponent was going to have a great time. So, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think his prediction is going to be true. I think both of these players are going to have a great time. I'm going to pull up the list here for both of you all. This is round 3 of Nova Open. 8 rounds this weekend. This is the final round we're streaming today. We'll be back tomorrow for 3 more rounds, but we're just about to get started. This mission itself is Power Flux. So there's 4 objectives on the table. The player going second gets to pick which 2 are active. Either it's going to be the top and bottom one or the one on your left and right. Only those active objectives can be scored. Standard hold 1, hold 2, hold more. If you hold it with an Anturian Locus, and there's no other enemy Anturian Locuses on that objective, you score an extra point. And if you've killed a wizard in that battle round, you also score an extra point. Khorne, no wizards in the list, although it does have Be'lakor, so we actually have... no, the Beast of Chaos has Be'lakor. I'm checking the Khorne list in just a moment. Currently after 2 rounds, Evan Markham's Blades of Khorne is number 5 in points, and I know Owen Jackson is up there on a 2-0 as well. So, pulling up the pairings here. We'll start with Blades of Khorne, followed by Evan Markham from SoCal. He's running a Skullfiend Tribe. His grand strat is Slaughter of Sorcery. He wants to kill all the wizards. He's got a Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury as his general, command trait of Firebrand, and the artifact Argath, the King of Blades. He's even got the prayers of Bloodbind and Killer Instinct. He has taken a command entourage, so that way he does get a prayer enhancement, which allows all of his priests to take a second prayer. He's also got 2 Slaughter Priests, one with Blood Sacrifice and Unholy Flames. The other one with Bronze Fleshed and Killer Instinct. That Slaughter Priest also has the Pouch of Null Dust. So once for battle and his opponent's hero phase, will be able to use the pouch, and any double 1s, 2s, or 3s will become miscast. He also has a Blood Secretor for extra attacks. And you round out his heroes. You can't play Khorne unless you've got Scarbrand. In his list, he's also got a big block of Skull Reapers, spending 380 points for a big unit of Skull Reapers. 2 units of Claws of Karanak. They're nice cheap units at 100 points to get a nice pre-game move, so you can get onto objectives, pop some screens out, and for 100 points, if they die, more Blood Tithe points. Blood for the Blood God. Also got a unit of Blood Warriors. Also has a minimum unit of Blood Reavers. So, again, cheap unit, 80 points. He'll just put bodies on objective, provide some screens, and if they die, Blood for the Blood God, Blood Tithe point. And then to round out his list, at an even 2,000 points, he's got Hexquidger Skulls and the Bleeding Icon. So all of this wrapped up in a command entourage and a battle regiment. So he'll be down to a 4-drop. And I will pull up his command trait and artifact. I'm not 100% sure which those are. So his artifacts, Argath, the King of Blades. Ward rolls cannot be made for enemy units while they're within 3 inches of the bearer. Not going to come into play in this one because his opponent, Owen Jackson, is running Beast of Chaos and does not have anything with ward saves in his army. And then his command trait, making him a priest, providing that access to prayers. Owen Jackson, all the way from overseas, from the UK, part of Team Wales, running Beast of Chaos, Darkwalkers. Owen was in the Invitational yesterday, fortunately dropped his game 1, and was so gracious enough to join us on stream yesterday for some games, including the Round 2 Invitational. You can find those videos on this channel. He's running Beast of Chaos, Darkwalkers, a Desecrating Bray Herd Grand Strat. He's got a Doom Bull General with Bestial Cunning, so Beast of Chaos able to put units in reserve off the table, and they get to come in off the table edges, 9 inches from enemy units. The Bestial Cunning command trait is once per battle, when he, instead of bringing them in around the table edge, he can put them anywhere on the table 7 inches away. And that is traditionally seen with one thing, which is a double reinforced unit of Bulgors, which Owen has brought. So he's got a meaty brick of 9 Bulgors with axes and shields. Those Bulgors, they're going to charge in from 7 inches away. They get +1 the turn they come in. I believe another +1 from their instrument banner. And for every Bulgor that charges on a 2-up, it does a mortal wound, but you get to roll the 2-up. So effectively, when they charge, they're going to do 9 mortal wounds. He also has a Great Bray Shaman. Great Bray Shaman with the Bray Hat, Bray Blast Trumpet, which summons in another unit of 10 Gore, Ungore around the table edge. And with the Merciless Blizzard, very popular choice of spell here. And his last hero is the Bellicor, the Dark Master himself. So he's going to have 2 wizards in this list. Khorne hates wizards. So will Bellicor and the Great Bray Shaman be effective at all? We'll see. 9 Bulgors we talked about, 10 Ungors, also a unit of 20 Ungor Raiders. The Ungor Raiders, when they're off the table edge, they can once per game shoot from off the table edge. Can catch some people off guard. It's a shot that happens in the movement phase. And so since it happens in the move phase, you can't all defense it. There's also another unit of 10 Ungor Raiders, so a total of 30 Ungor Raiders in this list. And he's rounded out the list with a Gorgon as his final unit. So he's playing at 1960, so he's playing 40 points under. He'll get his Triumph, which is that Bloodthirsty for the reroll charge. As always, trying to protect that Herdstone, which, starting round 2, it'll improve the rend characteristic of his units. Both players still getting organized a bit. I think Owen has deployed Bellicor, put most of his army off the table. And we'll slowly get deploying here. The Herdstone is all the way at the top left of your screen. The current Herdstone provides improved rend to all of the Beast of Chaos units while it's active on the field. If a monster is able to get to it and smash to rubble, it will no longer provide extra rend. Other than that, it doesn't provide any other bonus, which is kind of disappointing to see because essentially every single Beast of Chaos player puts their Herdstone all the way in the table corner, because it's not providing anything other than that passive effect, which is table wide. And so if the Khorne player wants to go smash it, they're going to be pretty irrelevant because they're going to be so far from any of these objectives that you can send a Bloodthirster over, and Owen, is going to be fine with it because that Bloodthirster is going to be pretty irrelevant all the way out there. It's going to take him at least 2 turns to get back to an objective. I see Adam Mumford in the chat, rooting for the Owen Jackson. Big fan of him. Owen's joined us a few times on this channel for helped me commentate a few times, even popped in, say hi. Super excited to see him on the table. A lot of corn models to sort. Evan's going to be sorting them out. Owen, being a Beast of Chaos player, he's put Be'lakor on the table, and he has now walked away. He is heading directly away from the table, probably getting some water. But he's pretty confident that all he needs is Be'lakor on the table to win this game. No one's surprised. Owen's returning to the table with a glass of water. Does he even want to pop in on stream, commentate this game a little bit?
Yeah, no, I've deployed my one model, and that's me.
That's all you need, right? That's all you need to win the game. You've sent a message, haven't you?
It's working so far for me, but Evan seems like he knows what he's doing, so we'll see. I'm not sure whether I want to take first.
Ah, okay. Owen, still thinking about this game. A lot to think about. So we're going to wait for essentially this entire corn army to deploy. Owen does have everything in a battle regiment, so he's been able to just put down one model and say, okay, show me what you got. So Evan can deploy his entire army now. Beast of Chaos, from the table edge, they can do heroic actions to pull things 2d6 inches. He's only got the Bray Shaman and the Bulgor off the table, or the Doom Bowl, so he'll be able to do 2 erections, home table edge. Traditionally, you're looking for make a unit move 2d6 towards the table edge, or even a d6 mortal wounds something, which against a Slaughter Priest, you're real hot. You can kill a Slaughter Priest with 1 heroic action. But he's going to have to screen out that Scarbrand that you see down on the right-hand side. He's also got his Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury deployed on the center objective. There is a Claws of Karnak unit all the way on the right side. Does have a pre-game move. And he is going to put a unit behind Scarbrand as well. So he wants to prevent those Bulgors from popping up and having an easy 7-inch charge in the Scarbrand and lifting them too soon. Scarbrand is an absolute monster in combat, or he can be. His starting profile is pretty good, but if he hasn't fought in one of the combat phases and starting from the next battle round, he gets super angry. So I'm going to assume by all of the Let's Go OJs in chat that the bold prediction is that Owen is going to win. Is that the chat prediction? Or do we have any Evan Markham fans in chat here? Both these players on 2-0. There is a lack of Korgus Call in this game. Also, a lack of Korgorats. I haven't seen many. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. The Korgorats. Haven't seen them on a table in a long time. What? That is, in fact, Team England B, Owen Jackson, otherwise known as Team Wales, Owen Jackson. A lot of Worlds representation here. Quite a few members of Team America. Gavin Geiger, Tom Guan, Anthony Lawrence, a veteran. I myself played last year in Prague. Noah and Marcella. Noah and Marcella both had to play last round as well. I feel like they've played several times at events against each other, both members of Tough Crowd. We've got Owen Jackson on stream. We have Math Mallow here, who's currently 2-0 with his Alariel Sylvaneth list. He played on stream yesterday versus Caleb in an amazing game, which Owen commentated. So Owen's doing everything. Owen played in the Invitational, commentated the Invitational, is now playing on stream. He's getting the full experience. And if any of you are envious of this, keep an eye out for Nova Open next year, because this could be you next year. We did have an interesting pairing this round in round 3 that normally we would have loved to throw on stream, which was Tom Guan versus 2-time ITC champ Gavin Greiger. But that is a Soulblight zombie spam list against Null Myriad Ossiarch Bone Reapers. And quite possibly one of the most boring games to watch, of things dying, things coming back, things dying, things coming back, and people standing on objectives. Tom did have 2 games on stream yesterday, and we'll likely see quite a few more chances for those players to be on stream later in the event. One of those players will likely come out with a loss, but you never know, they could tie. Top 8 cutoff will happen after round 5. So even with a loss, a player at 4-1 can get into the top 8. We do have a point differential here. So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on the Gavin Guan situation. The Rush Hour pair. So we do have Mike Vaginos walking by checking on us. He'll be giving us updates on the Gavin Tom situation. No. Evan just looking over his deployment, checking his options. When there's literally nothing on the table besides Be'lakor, really hard to make a decision right here. It is up to Owen as to who goes first. If I was Owen, I'd probably give it away to Korn here, just because there's not really much Korn can accomplish. And they're very castled up right now. But we'll see. Be'lakor, always great into a double turn. Looks like Evan is deciding to change up where he's positioning some of these units. Owen, just relaxing. They are using a chess clock this round. You can see that to your left of your screen. So Owen literally just put a Be'lakor down and hit the time back to his opponent. Yeah, there's really no reason for Beast of Chaos to take top here. But Owen did drop by, said he's not sure yet, so maybe he's got something up his sleeve. There's a reason he's the Owen Jackson. He might see something that makes him want to pull the trigger. Traditionally on paper you say, no, you're going to give it to Korn, let Korn accomplish nothing, and then potentially double turn into them. But you never know. Sometimes when your entire army is off the table, your opponent could mess up deployment pretty bad and leave an absolute massive window for you to effectively end the game top of 1. So Owen's going to likely be looking to give away the turn to Korn, have Korn accomplish nothing, double him, and then put the Dark Master up on something in a 2 into 3 to lock down his Korn opponent. But lots of tricks up Korn's sleeve, though, as well. What you're seeing now is the pregame moves from the Claws of Karanak. Each of those models gets moved 6 inches before the first battle round starts. Nice cheap units. They're Warcry band. A lot of the Warcry warbands have had some pretty good rules and have been pretty good in AoS. So love to see them because the Warcry models they're looking amazing. They're absolutely beautiful. I myself, huge fan of the Rotmeyer Creed. I don't know anymore because that War Scrolls changed like 4 or 5 times. So generally I just check with the TO first. But here we go. They have fully deployed Pre-game moves are completed. It's off to Owen to decide whether he wants to take top of 1 or not. I'm assuming he's just going to give it to Korn here, but Owen's got all the time in the world to make a decision. You saw the handshake. We're about to get started here. Oh, yeah. Welsh Tom has just stopped by. And big hello to Team Wales. Heard you're all watching. I'm going to assume all of Team Wales watching, hoping that Owen Jackson takes it, but you never know. Maybe there's a Team Wales player out there, traitor to his kind, rooting for Evan Markham. So we'll see if Owen Jackson can do you boys proud. Come away with the W here. So looks like Owen power stancing over the table, did the double fist stance. Still deciding. I thought this would have been pretty quick, but looks like he's still deciding whether or not he wants to take it. And it looks like they have chosen the center objectives, that top and bottom middle objective, to be the active ones for Power Flux. I think Owen's taking it. So big surprise, turn events, Owen Jackson taking the turn. He sees something. And luckily he's got Be'lakor, so if what he sees doesn't quite work out, he does have Be'lakor. Be'lakor with the Dark Master ability, once per battle, his opponent's hero phase. He can pick a unit at the start of that turn, and until Owen's next turn, anytime that unit, the start of a phase, he gets to roll die on a 3-up, that unit can't do anything, essentially. So, at the start of Evan's turn, Evan will pick his battle tactics, heroic actions, all that, and then Owen will have the option to pick one of his units, roll die, and on a 3-up, can't do anything that hero phase, like can't use any prayers. On a 3-up in the movement phase, cannot move or run. And a charge phase on a 3-up, can't charge, and so on. So, here we go, going into it. We do have a score sheet on the table. I've got a separate cam pointed to it so I can fill you all in on what the battle tactics are. Owen has indeed taken top of 1. Let's see, what does Team Wales think about this? I see Adam Mumford in chat, no stranger to commentating games. What does Team Wales think about your brother in Sigmar, or your brother in Chaos here, taking top of 1 against Blades of Corn here? He's chosen Intimidate Invaders as his battle tactic. Oh, Owen being mental. Indeed, I think we do have Owen being absolutely mental. Mad lad. I'm curious as to what he thinks he can accomplish here. You see the absolute sea of bodies out there, screening off Scarbrand and that Bloodthirster of Unfettered Rage. So the Bloodthirster on the left-hand side, there's essentially a little trio there of a Skull Altar, a Bloodthirster and Unfettered Fury on the left-hand side. Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury is the one that subtracts 1 from hit rolls of enemy units while they're within 8. And on the right-hand side of the Skull Altar is Scarbrand himself. looks like Owen is wasting no time. So what's happening now is Owen is he's got 30 Ungor Raiders in his list, which have a once per battle at the start of his movement phase. If they're in reserve, he can pick a point on the battlefield edge and unleash a hidden volley. So right now he's shooting with all of 30 of these Ungor Raiders into Evan's corn. He's looking to clear up a big hole, so that way he can then bring on the Bulgor. So at the end of the movement phase, he'll be able to have the option of bringing on Bulgor and anything else from the table edge. But right now, trying to soften up a spot here. He's got 30 of these Ungor Raiders, so a total of 60 shots on 4s and 4s. And then we'll see where this absolute mad lad is putting anything on the table. Now, the objective at the top and bottom are the active objectives, so we'll likely see perhaps the Brave Shaman showing up to secure it and get an extra point. Maybe, who knows? But he is keeping Be'lakor pretty deep back there. Wants to keep him potentially out of any kind of unbind range. If Be'lakor does die, his opponent could score an extra point because this is Power Flux. But Owen choosing not to move Be'lakor onto that objective, kind of signaling to us that he's probably going to be bringing something on from that table edge onto that objective. So we're going to see just in a minute where, if any, a hole is being created. Or if potentially he was shooting at something else. I'm going to go check in with our table and see where that shooting was directed. So Owen has put all of that shooting into one of the Slaughter Priests in the back and has lifted it. So first blood for Owen, who's now moved Be'lakor all the way on that left-hand side objective. Now measuring where he's going to start bringing in other models. Warhammer, a game of measuring. Whenever I teach new players, I always tell them the most important phase of the entire game is the movement phase. Movement phase is where most of this game is won or lost. What you're going to move on to objectives, where you're going to move them, what he wants to bring on from the board edges, where he wants to bring it. I'm super excited to have Owen Jackson on stream. I've followed Owen a few times, run into him a few times. I got to play Owen the end of last year at the castle, and I was just rocking the old Seraphon book with the Dread Saurian, and Owen is like one of the kindest people I've ever met, but I miscast 3 times in a row with Seraphon against him. And I was like, please, Owen, I concede. And he was just like, no, he really wanted to play on. You know, and I was like, I've miscasted 3 times in a row. Absolute sweetheart, though. One day, I'm going to get my rematch with Owen. if you tune in to, we had a match yesterday on stream. Round 2 of the Invitational was Caleb and Math Mallow. And Owen joined me for commentary on that one. It was an absolute delight to commentate with Owen. And then he even joined me a little bit this morning on our first round stream. So, happy to see everyone who's tuning in. Just an update here. We have Owen Jackson towards the top of your screen playing Beast of Chaos. Basically started a game with Bellacore on the table, left everything else off, put the clock to his opponent, and went to grab the drink. Evan Markham from SoCal set up his entire corn army. Owen Jackson then power stanced over the table with both hands and fist, said, "I am the Owen Jackson. Don't you know who I am? I'm taking first turn." And has decided to go top of 1 to intimidate the invaders as his battle tactic. So he needs more units wholly outside his territory than inside it. And at the start of the movement phase, popped the once per battle ability on his Ungor Raiders and took 30 Ungor Raiders shooting into 1 Slaughter Priest in order to kill it. But he killed it. I think he was hoping to kill it with just the first volley from the 20. Unfortunately, he did not finish him off. But then the last 10 were able to shoot in and finish it off. And that's really where we're at to get to this point. So we're still on top of 1. Owen versus Evan. Beast of Chaos versus Corn. In our first Beast of Chaos and our first Corn on stream, this is the 7th game we've been streaming from the OVA Open. The 3rd one of today. This is round 3. We did 4 rounds of the Invitational yesterday. We'll still have 5 more games coming this weekend. So 3 more rounds tomorrow. 2 more rounds on Sunday to wrap it up. Both these players currently 2-0. So, Owen doing Beast of Chaos things, popping out models from around the table, the board edges. So, Power Flux. The territories are cut right across the middle. If you just draw a line directly across the middle from your left to your right, or your right to your left. And your territories are exactly your entire table half. So Owen's going to have to put a couple units on this side. He needs to have more units wholly outside of his because of Intimidate the Invaders. And it looks like he has committed 2 units to his home objective. It doesn't look like a pizza tray. I think it's just a regular cardboard box. Not quite the pizza box of Tom Guan, but I'll double check. I don't know if I see any pizza stain greases. It would be amazing to see. I'm also going to check. I'm going to make a bold assumption, assume he has put the Bray Shaman on his home objective to score the extra point for the Antorian Locust. And then probably committed some Gors or Ungors to screen it off. But only a few feet from the table. Put a wall between me and the players, so hopefully they're not hearing me. And we are in a very loud hall. There's, I think, about 160 something players playing in this GT. So, quite a crowd here. 8 rounds. Yep, Owen's got the Great Bray Shaman on that top objective, surrounded by a bunch of Ungors. He has brought on 20 on the bottom, and he's also brought in another 10 on the left-hand side. Owen is wearing pure black socks today. They're just regular black. Yesterday they were just plain white. So I'm curious to see tomorrow if he goes for something in between with like a gray. Here we go. More Ungor Raider shooting. The meanest profile in the game. 4s and 4s, no rend, 1 damage. Also choosing to leave his Doom Bull and 9 Bulgor in reserve, as well as his Gorgon. So I'll get an update. Curious to see what Owen's trying to shoot into to remove over there. But yes, there should be an Old Town Throwdown dice bag on there. Evan Markham is the Blades of Corn player you see at the bottom of your screen. He is from SoCal. So a bunch of SoCal players have made the trip all the way over here to Washington, D.C. We've got Evan Markham. We've got the Nuge. There's Aaron Newbaum floating around somewhere. Greg Brewer came out. I know I'm missing more. There's just so many players here, I can't keep track of everybody. But a lot of representation by SoCal. So both players had a talk beforehand, sort of what the terrain is. In this state, both determined and agreed that the large tower pieces that are in the center on the top and bottom that are touching those objectives are garrisonable. So there is a Bloodsecrator currently in that building on the bottom of your screen that he was shooting the Ungor Raiders into and hoping to kill it. Unfortunately did not. When you're garrisoned, you are -1 to be hit, and you get +1 to your save. Ungor Raiders, not the most effective of shooting, so only was able to do a few wounds. So, Owen picking up 4 points. He holds 1 objective. He also holds it with Antorian Locust. There's no enemy Antorian Locust on that objective, so he gets an extra point. And then he completes his battle tactic for 2 points. So in this mission, the player going second gets to pick 2 of the objectives, either the top and bottom or the left and the right. They're marked in the book as A or B. And you either activate the top and bottom one, or you activate the left and right one. And in order to score, just standard hold 1, hold 2, hold more. An extra point if you control it with Antorian Locust, which is a non-unique wizard with a wounds characteristic of less than 10. That's also not on a mount. And if there's no enemy Antorian Locust is contesting it, you get the extra point. So Evan Markham, Blaze of Corn, does not have any Antorian Locust. Corn hates wizards. Hates them. Just like Gareth Thomas hates a good time, Corn hates wizards. So Owen will potentially be able to start scoring extra points here, because Evan's going to be limited to 3-point turn unless he can score his opponent's home objective up there, because he's only got access to hold 1, and you have to get hold more to be able to take any sort of lead here. So Owen with a slight advantage in that he has Antorian Locus available. On the other side, Evan could catch up on points, because if he has killed a wizard in the battle round, he scores an extra point. There are 2 wizards in Owen's list. There's Be'lakor, the Dark Master, you see him all the way to the left, and there's also that Bray Shaman that's on the objective at the top of your screen. Evan has chosen Endless Expansion as his battle tactic. And I'll have an update on that in just a moment. Endless Expropriation, is the battle tactic. So he's going to pick an enemy unit that summoned an endless spell that is on the battlefield or bonded to an incarnate. I think he might just be throwing away this battle tactic, because he doesn't necessarily have any easy ones he can do. So Khorne is so far deep in its own territory, it's not going to be able to explode out and intimidate the invaders. He can't secure surround. He's got nothing in combat to retreat for bait and trap. None of his heroes are close enough to make a charge for lead in the Maelstrom. He's got no wizards. So none of the core battle tactics are achievable here. And I don't think he's got any book ones. I'm not familiar enough with Khorne here to know their battle tactics by heart, but reading through them now, nothing with the native of Skull Altar. He's got nothing in combat. He's not going to be able to have all of his Khorne units wholly within 8 of an enemy unit. Can't kill a wizard this turn. Can't kill 4 more units. So the only other option potentially would be to kill 8 or more enemy models with attacks, but there's only 1 eligible unit all the way on the bottom left that he could potentially get to, and it doesn't seem like he's comfortable getting all the way over there yet. So we're likely just going to see a 1-point turn come from Khorne, only be able to score 1 point for having their own home objective, and giving up a battle tactic. Yeah, it could be an error on deployment to not prep for a second battle tactic. Evan thinking over his turn. He's got a lot on his plate. He knows he's going to be behind this turn by 3 points at the end of this round. Big priority coming up. Be'lakor still has Dark Master available, so he's got to be careful. If Owen wins the priority, Owen can take top of 2 and then Dark Master something. Khorne's battle tactic is one of the book ones called Endless Expropriation, which is not achievable here because he has to kill something that's either bonded to an incarnate or summon an endless spell. So Khorne has effectively signaled, I have no battle tactics that are achievable right now, so I'm just going to throw away one that I can't possibly get, so that way I can conserve achievable battle tactics for the later rounds. So he knows he's going to be down 3 points after round 1. We'll see what he's able to do. He needs to make something happen if he's going to go down 3 points. He needs to either start pushing out of this bubble. He needs to be able to threaten Owen's home objective. Because if Owen wins priority, you can effectively give Evan top of 2. And if Evans stays too far back, too reserved, Owen's just going to be able to say top and bottom are the objectives again, and put Owen in another position where he's going to be up another 4-1 in points round. So Evan's getting into this movement phase, and these movements seem very conservative so far. He's still just screening out with that unit of 10 Skull Reapers right across the middle there. I think he's extremely terrified of that 9 Bulgor unit. And I'm kind of curious if this Bulgor unit has gotten to his head. He might be a little too scared of the Bulgor, and it might be causing him to play too reserved here. Owen had 30 Ungor Raiders in his list, but has already used their once per battle shooting at the start of the movement phase, and then has brought them onto the table. So Owen just has that 9 Bulgor and a Doom Bull left in reserve right now. Oh, also a Gorgon as well. And I'm going to admit this to you guys. Don't tell anyone. I have no idea what a Gorgon does. I'm going to have to check that war scroll on that one when it shows up. Let's see what this absolute monster that Owen has put his faith into. That is 240 points. It's got 16 wounds with a 5-up save. It's Butchering Blades. Well, once it comes in, it'll be at least turn 2, so it'll be at rend 2/3 damage, which now I can start seeing the appeal from Owen. Also has a huge Slathering Maw, which will be at rend 2 d6 damage. Why am I saying SoCal? It's Scal? I apologize. I am way too East Coast. Scal. Yeah, sorry. I'm just on the East Coast, which is the best coast. So SoCal is the region, but Scal United is the group? Oh, the super chat. Scal in Paris. Scallions. So, Evan positioning that Claws of Karanak unit all the way on the right side. Actually, there might be... It's actually the Blood Reavers conga lining up the right-hand side. He has the Claws of Karanak unit. Still screening off Scarbrand, who's to the right of that Skull Altar. Still playing extremely reserved with his Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury. I feel like that one might be a little too far back, but we'll see. I think he has plenty of room to keep that Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury a little further up. He does have an R of -1 to hit. And I think he does have enough bodies where he could potentially screen out. I think he's too afraid of the Bulgor going in and doing 9 mortal wounds on a charge and lifting a screen. But he does have the Skull Reapers that are, I think, 3 wounds a pop. Also plenty of Claws of Karanak. A couple Blood Warriors in there, too. I think he's got enough bodies. And now both players walking past me, informing me that they're having a bathroom break. In the middle of round 1, both players have decided, you know what, I'm just going to walk away from the table. So, this is a wild game. I don't think I've, this could be a first. Both our players just leaving the game turn one. Both going for a bathroom break. I'm going to see if I could possibly get an update, interview, anything from anyone. And I'll be right back in just a moment. I am back with a special guest, Matt Tucker.
It's good. Either way.
What is it you do here?
We do something called the Age of Sigmar narrative. Can you hear me? We do something called the Age of Sigmar narrative, the grand narrative. And it's kind of like, well, first of all, it's in Gork's Grin, which is a continent we created based on completely player input. Every time we have every year we have a bunch of players who come, and they kind of make their mark on the land by playing various battles and scenarios, and they're all bespoke battles based on the terrain that we paint up for each table.
Those tables are beautiful too. How many players
Thank
have
you
in
so
your
much.
narrative this year?
We have 30, but we're hoping to get 40 next year at least. We might do 50 if we can get it.
It'd be amazing. I know you're still doing the giant siege battle every year, right?
Yep, we're going to do one tomorrow. It's going to start at 1 p.m., and it's going to take up 5 or maybe even 6 whole tables. We have 25 feet of wall and a ton of buildings.
Is there anywhere that people can see pictures of this? Anywhere?
Oh,
Any
absolutely.
social media?
Yeah.
Plug?
So Nova Open always puts us on their Instagram accounts, and sometimes they do on their Twitter or X or whatever it is now. And I think somebody was talking about like TikToking some things, like a little walkthrough. We set up around 1, and then we let everybody step back, and usually we go for lunch or dinner and have pictures taken and things like that. So we like take a lot of pictures, and then we start. We get whole 5 turns in. 30 players, 15 on 15.
Hopefully all those pictures will be up. Looks like already people saying the narrative tables look so nice.
Oh, thank you, Nick.
This is my
That's
first
really
year out
appreciated.
of 4 years not playing the narrative here too. So
We missed you so much, so much. I will say, I've known Emma for a long time now, just through conventions. We're like, what do you call it, convention buddies?
absolutely.
Yeah, but we missed you so much. I've never seen anybody who is such a great competitive player, but has such an awesome narrative spirit. I remember you always make your opponent leave that game feeling like they've had a lot of fun, feeling like the game was really close, and as much as we really do try to balance everything out, you did your part in helping us to balance a lot of various our little packs and our battle plans, because we have to make up a new battle plan for every table every year. We can't use like GHB ones or anything like that. No, we are not a myth. We do have a lot of fun, and I will say, all the players this year, we've had a lot of Sons of Behemoth players this year, and surprisingly, and a lot of Iron Jaws. We see the most random armies come up, and they do so well.
They want the big pig. That's what the Iron Jaws want.
Oh, they really
want the
do.
big pig.
They want it. I've heard players just salivating after that reveal. GW really just are firing on all cylinders there. They're super great. Yep.
Looks like both our players back from the restroom break, probably figuring out where they left off. Probably have no idea what's going on the table themselves.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to say here, Matt?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again to Nova Open for sparing the tables for us and for putting us like right in the center so that everybody can come over and look at the wall. If you're at the convention, come and look at all the stuff that we have. Come look. We have a diorama with about a third of the wall set up in a nice U shape. It is barely contained in that one table. So, and please feel free to ask questions. We love to talk to people, and it's great. I hope everybody has a great. So far, I've had a blast.
amazing. I'm a little broken that I won't be able to play, but I do get to enjoy 12 games in this stream.
Oh wow, that's great.
I'm definitely going to stop by during the siege, take a peek.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, and thanks to everybody out there for listening.
Alright, getting a pulse on what's happening in the game. I'm going to check in with other players. I think Evans, checking over, still in Evans' movement phase. So, still need to wrap up turn 1. Alright, so the score after turn 1 is 4-1 in favor of Owen. Owen did win priority, and as I suspected, Owen gave away the turn to Corn. Corn just, they're playing so reserved, they're so scared of these Bulgor that he's so far back in his own territory that he didn't put any threat to Owen turn 1. His movement, he's contained himself in this little bubble back there. And so, one of the easiest decisions Owens had to make here, besides coming to Nova Open obviously, was to just give away this turn. Because there's not really anything to threaten. There's nothing that can get up to Bellacore to threaten him. Potentially into the 20 Ungors. Owen wasn't happy having to commit as many bodies to the table as he did already, but he's put a lot of value into that Bray Shaman on his home objective. Scored the extra points, and personally, I think that's the right decision. He's got the ability to score extra points from having an Antorian Locust there, while his opponent cannot score those extra points. So Evan's battle tactic led into the Maelstrom. He needs to charge a unit with both a hero and a battle line unit, and at the end of the turn needs to have one of those in combat. He did have the Blood Secretor garrison in that bottom piece of terrain. He does have the Claws of Karanak there, so most likely going to charge into those Ungors with that Blood Secretor and the Claws of Karanak to achieve that battle tactic. Hopefully everyone's enjoying this game so far. Definitely a change of pace from our last game. Last game, if anybody missed it, we had Leo Rautanen with his Nagash Legion of Night list, which faced off on the Geometric Pulse against Sons of Bahamut, and it was 2 Gatebreakers, King Broad, and 3 Man Crushers. Leo laying down the dump truck of Mortal Wounds. And in round 1, we had 2 of our best painted nominees, who are Oscar Lars and Nick Jackson. It was KO versus Ogre Maul Tribes. So we've had a good mix of armies on stream today, and you can watch back those videos. Vince Venturella is, I don't think he's playing in this event, but I have seen him here. I did run into him Wednesday night. I think Vince is probably busy running paint seminars. This is round 3 of our 8-round AoS GT. It's the final round we're streaming today. Yesterday we did stream 4 games, the first of which was one of our doubles events. And rounds 2, 3, and 4 we did cover the Invitational. And we had some amazing games on there. Even one of our players here, Owen Jackson, helping commentate round 2 of that. And I'll see if we're able to get any updates on the Gavin Tom game, or if it's just bodies being removed, bodies added on, bodies removed, bodies added on. Which, I got some hand signals, seems to be what's going on over there. So hopefully we'll have some more updates later on. We are monitoring the Tom Guan, Gavin Greiger, Harambe Hero match over there. The two biggest gorillas. Well, maybe the second biggest gorillas. We do have the Walter brothers here. Last round was a tough crowd massacre. I think there was 3 different matches where there are tough crowd players playing each other. There's also currently a tough crowd belt match going on. We've got Bart Kennelly versus Bread himself. The infamous Bread from Twitter is playing in a belt match for the interdimensional champion of the AoS multiverse. This game, pretty slow so far. Is this normally how Owen plays? As slow as molasses? We considered him to be mental for taking top of 1, but it seems to be playing out for him very well. There should be an invitational for all the belt holders. Are either of these players off their respective teams if they lose? Is that on the line here? So, Evan finally making some moves. Moving his Skull Reapers up, making sure to stay outside of 9 inches of Bellacore to prevent any redeploy. If you can make that 9-inch charge in the Bellacore, would be massive. He's able to pick up Bellacore that would score him an additional point for killing a wizard as well. Yep, this is Evan Markham from Scal, as I've been corrected. Playing Blades of Corn at the bottom of your screen. Playing off against Team Wales, the Owen Jackson, in round 3 of our GT. Both players at 2-0 currently. Obviously, the loser of this will be at 2-1. And we do have 2 conflicting crowds. We do have our Welsh partners here rooting for Owen. We have our Scal friends rooting for Evan. And then we have a couple others who are just rooting for a good time. So that is a block of 10 Skull Reapers in the middle. I'm going to confirm because I know he's got a unit of Blood Warriors as well. So just want to make sure that those are in fact the Skull Reapers that are looking to make a 9-inch charge in the Bellacore. So it is a unit of 10 Blood Warriors that do have that +1 to save on them, looking to charge in the Be'lakor. He does have 10 Skull Reapers that are still sitting back on that objective. The Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury has come around the bottom of that building, looking to charge into the Ungkor, along with the Claws of Karanak. So, lead into Maelstrom is the battle tactic. He needs to charge a hero and a battle line unit. And at the end of the turn, one of those units still needs to be in combat. So if the Bloodthirster gets into the Ungkor Raiders, as well as just the Claws of Karanak, he runs the risk of completely killing that 20-man unit of Ungkor Raiders, and then failing that battle tactic. So I think he's looking to line up a charge in the Be'lakor, so that way you can secure his battle tactic that way. Be'lakor has not used his Dark Master ability. Owen is waiting and waiting to pull the trigger on that. He thinks that he's effectively sacrificing his Ungkor Raiders at the bottom of the screen in order to preserve the Dark Master for later. Considered using it to potentially have him fail his battle tactic. Dark Master, the Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury, make sure that he can't get in there. But thinks that there's a chance that his opponent could fail the battle tactic on his own, and that he wants to preserve it for a little later. Yeah, Skarbrand's probably irrelevant for another turn. We'll see. The Bulgur are going to have to come on soon, and we'll see where Owen decides to commit them. So, battle tactic, let in Maelstrom. You complete this battle tactic if one or more friendly heroes and one or more friendly battle line units each made a charge move this turn, and at least one of those units is within 3 of an enemy unit at the end of this turn. So, huge risk here that Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury wipes the unit of Ungkor Raiders, at which point he's going to need something in combat still, so he's really banking on that 9-inch charge from the Blood Warriors. So if we see that charge fail in the Be'lakor, we could potentially see the Ungkor Raiders lifted by the Bloodthirster. If he kills even half of them, he could force a Battle Shock, and Owen might even just decide to sacrifice his Ungkor Raiders to deny 2 points. Owen's already up ahead by 3 points after turn 1. It was 4-1. See, the Corrin Castle is starting to come apart here as he's starting to spread out onto the table. Does look like he's leaving some space down on the bottom right if he doesn't move Skarbrand, and he's moving Skarbrand to be sure. We'll see if Owen decides to try to pick up Skarbrand with the Bulgurs. Potentially by making either the Claws of Karanak or Skarbrand move 2d6 inches as a heroic action, or if he decides to just commit the Bulgurs to potentially pick up this Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury that's about to crash into these Ungkor Raiders. That Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury does have an aura if you're within it of 8 inches, you're -1 to hit, which could potentially cause problems for a bunch of Bulgur. Claws of Karanak now moving up to get closer, make their charge even shorter. Blood Warriors have made it into Be'lakor. They're not going to have enough damage to pick him up. I think he's essentially just looking to get that in there and then make the charge with the Bloodthirster and Fetid Fury at the bottom to secure his battle tactic. Because if he kills all of the Ungor Raider with that Bloodthirster at the bottom, he will still need something in combat. So electing the charge in the Be'lakor with Blood Warriors, who do have +1 save on them from the Bronze Flesh Prayer, so they are very tanky. And we have a yes come out from Evan. I think he has made the charge with the Bloodthirster. There it is, into the Ungor Raiders. And that's exactly what he needs for his battle tactic. Be'lakor is not going to be able to slice through 10 Blood Warriors on a +1 save. And they're not going to be able to kill Be'lakor either. And this Bloodthirster is exactly where it wants to be. Right up in some Ungor Raiders, about to chop them up. So, after a very conservative turn 1 opening and also deployment by Evan, staying in his night-tight castle and going down 3 points, he has absolutely expanded out, and he is now everywhere on the table. So, curious to see where he takes it from here. If Be'lakor is able to get some wounds in, Evan might have to start taking from the back of that Blood Warrior unit and then pile in closer to Be'lakor, opening up even more real estate in the center of the table. And that is a unit of Skull Reapers at that home objective there, which, 7 Bulgor coming in off the table 7 inches away could crash in there, eventually pick up 10 Skull Reapers. Dark Master then available for Owen to be able to Dark Master Scarbrand. If Evan goes top of 3, otherwise Owen could go for the double and then crash in the Scarbrand. So Owen's next turn and the turn 3 priority are going to be huge to see what happens. I think Owen could potentially win the game off of his turn and the following priority roll. Have our TO, James O'Brien, stop by the table, seeing how things are going. And as expected, looks like everybody is having fun here except for Garrus Thomas. Still a lot of frowns on his face, as we expect. Nate Trentinelli, who is not playing this weekend but lives locally, has stopped by and is helping paint score. Nate, absolutely wonderful painter, helping them score all of these armies. There's about 160, 170 players in attendance, a lot of armies to paint score. So Owen is now walking across the table to start picking up Ungor Raiders. And he is pulling them away from the Claws of Karnak. Looks like he wants to reduce any additional damage into them. And we'll see how many are left. I think he likely still has a unit champ in there to Inspiring Presence them, looking to preserve that unit of Ungor Raiders, so that way next turn he could potentially retreat them and then start rallying them and force the Khorne player to commit further into that left-hand corner in order to deal with them. The longer he can just be a nuisance and menace over there, the better off. Ungor Raiders, especially at -1 to hit, not known for their combat prowess. So, doing no wounds. And I'm going to take a quick peek, see if there's any scored updates for anyone from any other notable events going around right now. Look at the pairings. The majority of these games still going on. Update from Leo Routinen, who was just on stream in the last round with his Nagash, already with a 19-1 win over his opponent, Nick Grimnir. So he's beat Iron Jaws with Nagash in a 19-1 point differential. Huge for the dump truck. Juan Noah Singh with another 19-1 over his opponent. And everything else still unsubmitted. Plenty of games still going on. We still have over an hour left in this round. So we have about an hour and a half left in this round. We're only halfway through. Ton of Warhammer going on. There are 82 games going on in this GT. That is 164 players. 164 players. Destruction players can't even count that high. So, Nova Open using a point differential system, much like most of our European comrades. Point differential widely used in European events as well as AoS Worlds. Noah is playing Beast of Chaos. We assuming we'll probably see him on stream later tomorrow or even on Sunday. We had been avoiding putting any invitational players on stream today, just because we had them a bunch of them on stream yesterday, and also because of the likelihood that some of them may end up on stream at the end of tomorrow or Sunday. But we did see an opportunity with Owen, who was an invitational, versus Evan here to put two armies we haven't seen on stream yet. This is the 7th game of Warhammer we've been streaming, and we have yet to see Beast of Chaos or Khorne on the stream so far, so we put both of them on there. And we're delighted to have a chance to put Owen on, and also a game for our West Coast partners. So, Be'lakor swinging pretty hard, picking up quite a few Blood Warriors there. Not quite going to be what Evan wanted. I don't think he expected to lose 5 Blood Warriors. But he'll score 3 points this round. Led into Maelstrom is battle tactic for 2 points, and he controls his home objective, which is the activated one, for 1 point. Now going in to bottom of 2, the Owen Jackson, about to show us why he is the Owen Jackson. He's lost, I think, 17 of those Ungor Raiders, but there's still 3 alive there. He's measuring to see if he could retreat out of combat. Evan was able to pile in, and Owen's hoping to see if he could potentially retreat them out and save them, or if they're just stuck in there and will have to die. Owen checking the measurements for the unbinding, for the skull altars. He does have that Bray Shaman on his home objective, checking to see if there's anything in unbind range before he selects his battle tactic, seeing if there's a chance to potentially go for that magical dominance and just cast a single spell out of unbind range, but it looks like he might be within 30. And there is a Skull Priest garrison in that Skull Altar you see on the bottom of your screen there, next to the Scar Brand. James O'Brien announcing the Army Showcase at the end of round 3. This is the final round of our day here. We do have 5 more rounds to stream this weekend. 3 coming tomorrow, and 2 more on Sunday. We're going to see tomorrow morning. We might take a break from the GT tomorrow, and instead of streaming round 4, we might have an absolute treat for you. We might be streaming a game of Kids Hammer. There's a Kids Hammer tournament starting tomorrow, running Saturday and Sunday. And we're going to connect with those TOs and players and their parents and see if there's any comfort in having a stream game of Kids Hammer. Warhammer for all ages. The children are the future. So looks like Owen looking to do his heroic actions. Able to do heroic actions before getting into choosing your battle tactics. So Owen selecting the point from which his Bulgor is, and he's going to pull that unit of looks like he's pulling, I don't know if it's pulling the Blood Reavers. He's pulling the Blood Reavers. It looks like he rolled a 5, so he's pulling them 5 inches towards that point. So I think what he wants to do is open a huge gap in the center of the table where he can then drop the Bulgor 7 inches from those Skull Reapers and then pick up that huge brick of Skull Reapers on the center. And then from there, if he wins priority, he can double into Evan and pick up Scarbrand. And if he loses priority, he can alternatively just use Bellacor's Dark Master ability on Scarbrand to potentially prevent it from swinging in to those Bulgors. But as this game goes on, we're going to be racking up Blood Tithe points. So Evan might have models being removed from the table left and right, but he'll be able to summon something. Looks like Owen has gone for Surround as his battle tactic, so looks like pretty achievable. He's already got 1 unit Ungor Raiders all the way, holding within 6 of the left-hand table side. And we'll see what else he brings on. He's still got the 9 Bulgors, which I'm assuming he's going to bring right in the middle of the table to try to pick up those Skull Reapers. And he's still got the Doom Bowl, which he can bring on from table edge. He's also got the Bray Shaman at the top of your screen that's eligible for it. Bray Shaman's towing that objective at the top, scoring them extra points for being an Antorian Locust. So, the end of this turn, likely going to see another 4 points for Owen, which will put him up 8-4. But we'll see. We'll see where these Bulgor come on, because there's a chance that the Bulgor come right up the middle, kill all of those Skull Reapers, and then take that objective, and Owen goes up even further. Right now the score is tied 4-4, but it's still Owen's bottom of 2. So any points he gains here is just going to be expanding a lead. Good day, Coach. We've got Evan Markham from Scowl, otherwise some people might know it as Southern California, the West Coast of the United States. He's playing Blades of Corn at the bottom of your screen, and he's got Scarbrand on his list. There's a Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury that got baited all the way to the bottom left by a unit of Ungor Raiders. And he's playing against the Owen Jackson. Not just an Owen Jackson, but the Owen Jackson all the way from Team Wales, playing Beast of Chaos. Owen's got 9 Bulgors in reserve. So still 9 Bulgors and a Doom Bowl off the table for Owen. This is bottom of 2. Be'lakor is yet to use Dark Master. He's already committed all of his Ungor Raiders onto the table. Shot off a Slaughter Priest so far. I think he might have killed the Bloodsecrator as well. Evan was unable to score at Battle Tactic turn 1. Had to commit his Bloodthirster and Unfettered Fury all the way to the bottom left into some Ungor Raiders in order to just secure a Battle Tactic on turn 2. Actually, the rest of Owen's army is about to show up. These might just be some more Gors, but they might be some Ungors. Got some confirmation on that shortly. There are 10 Skull Reapers sitting on that center objective at the bottom, along with Scarbrand just tiptoeing it. There are 5 Blood Warriors still on the left-hand side, staring down Be'lakor, who just sliced half of them down. There's a unit of Claws of Karanak all the way on the left-hand side on the bottom of your screen, as well on the right-hand side. It's that unit to the right of Be'lakor, between the Skull Altar and the other train piece. Above that is a unit of Blood Reapers, the 80 points unit. So Evan's been playing very conservative with his deployment. Played a very, very reserved conservative turn 1. He was so afraid of those Bulgors coming in and just picking up everything that it put him in a pretty bad position, because he was playing so conservative that there's no threat to Owen. So when Owen won priority on turn 2, he just quickly gave it away to Evan, recognizing that there's really not much that Khorne can accomplish here. So Owen was able to go up 4-1 on turn 1 because we're playing Power Flux, and the top and bottom objectives have been activated in both rounds. You score 1 point if you hold 1, another point, hold 1, hold 2, hold more scoring, but you score an extra point if you have an Antorian Locus, and there's no enemy Antorian Locuses on the table, which is why Owen's been able to secure an extra point a turn. So it's 4-1 after turn 1 because Evan had no available battle tactics that he could achieve. And then on turn 2, Evan was only able to score his home objective again, but doesn't have any Antorian Locus because he's Khorne. So only scored 3 points, tying it up at 4-4, but we're in bottom of 2. So Owen's going to be likely securing another 4-point turn here, and we're likely going to see an 8-4 end of round 2. But there is a chance that he commits the Bulgors right up the center and tries to pick up all of those Skull Reapers, in which case he might then take Evan's home objective as well. So Owen was able to get those remaining Ungor Raiders out of combat from the bottom left and have them step through to the other side of the table, reappearing all the way on the right-hand side. He is now moving additional bodies onto that right objective, knowing that there's a priority roll coming up. Owen's been securing extra points each round from that Bray Shaman at that top objective. So he's making sure that he secures this left-hand objective in case his opponent activates the left and the right ones. Now he's pulling them back a bit. He's now realizing he does need to have them wholly within the table edge in order to get the surround for his battle tactic. So he's got this unit on the left-hand side, that unit of Ungor Raiders that almost died last combat phase that teleported to the right-hand side. and then his Bray Shaman at the top of your screen, so he actually can't bring that unit of Ungor Raiders onto the objective. And currently, bottom of 2, Beast of Chaos turn, Owen Jackson. Currently tied up 4-4, but Owen still has to score. And Owen bringing on, looks like the remainder of his army onto the table. Gonna get a sneak peek, see what's coming on, where it's all coming on, see what's what.
We'll be back in just a minute.
As we expected, 9 Bulgor, right up the middle. The Doom Bolt also has came on his home objective. The Gorgon is now showing up to the table on the right-hand side. The unit of Ungor Raider that were on the bottom left have now walked through the shadows, reappeared at the bottom right. Another unit of Ungor have shown up on your right-hand side. And we're getting into Beast of Chaos, turn 2 shooting phase. So, Leo just walking by, the dump truck himself, was on the stream last game with his Legion of Night Nagash list. He's currently sitting on a 3-0. That's right, Nagash Legion of Night 3-0 here at Nova Open. So as a reminder, this is round 3 of the 8-round GT, and we have 164 players participating. It's going all the way through Sunday. This is round 3, final round of today. We'll have 2 more rounds tomorrow, and then take like an hour break, and they're gonna do a top 8 cut, and then all of the remaining players will be put into 8-player pods, and we'll still play out 8 rounds for everybody. Players will have the option if they want to drop at that point, but the idea is to then put everybody in 8-player pods, depending on the result after 5 rounds, and then play on rounds 6, 7, and 8 versus players in your pod at a similar finish. And there will be awards for all of the winners of each pod. So, kind of a new format here, testing it out. Maybe it's the future of Warhammer. We'll find out. We did have James O'Brien on, I believe yesterday, talking about how some of the GW events might be moving to 8 rounds for AoS. AoS definitely picking up in the United States, and seems like 8-round events might be the future as we start getting into multiple 5-0s in 5-round events. Really want to drill it down and get a true champion, a true undefeated after 8 games. And there are so many players here that are capable of winning this event. All of those Ungor you saw show up on the right-hand side have been quickly dispatching all of those Blood Reavers. Owen measuring his charges. He really wants to get into those Skull Reapers. Another special guest here, Chris Schelling, the mastermind of the Gargants, man of many words. How's your day going?
It's going pretty well. I just finished 3rd round.
How'd you do?
Good. I got the Blizzard Smash off on the Gatebreaker on a Ethereal Dragon. It's fun.
What?
The 4-up 46 mortal wounds.
How many mortal wounds did you do to it?
17. And then I body slammed him for 3, and then that was.
That's just rude.
Yeah.
We've got Evan Markham's Blades of Corn versus Owen Jackson, Beast of Chaos.
How's it going?
Owen is ahead. Right now, score is tied up 4-4, but it's Owen's bottom of 2.
It's a critical turn for Beast every time.
He's just committed the 9 Gold Ward in the center. He really wants to get in the 10 Skull Reapers. He's measuring it twice again now. There were a unit of Blood Reavers to the left that were kind of pushing him back, that he had to commit him so far back. But it's a huge critical turn. Can he make this charge, pick up these Skull Reapers, and then win priority and potentially then pick up Scarbrand?
Yeah, the turn 2 to 3 double for Beast is always just devastating.
And there's also, to the left of our screen, a Bellicor, who still has yet to use his Dark Master.
He hasn't used it yet. Oh, nice.
Yeah, Evan, with a super conservative deployment, was so castled up that he didn't have a single battle tactic he could achieve on bottom of 1, and ended up scoring 1 point.
Yeah, I was looking at that sheet. I was wondering why he called expropriation, but
Knew he couldn't get anything, decided to choose a battle tactic that is impossible to get to conserve all of the possible ones for later. Owen, the madman he was, deployed Bellicor on the table. He's got a battle regiment, so he's a 1-drop. Only put Bellicor on the table and went to go get a drink while his opponent deployed his whole army. Came back, double fist on the table, power stance, thought about it, said, I'm going to take top of 1, move Bellicor down there to just tow that objective to the left, brought on the Bray Shaman and 10 Ungor to the top objective, and then brought on some Ungor Raiders at the bottom of the screen to start taking shots into a Slaughter Priest, and killed the Slaughter Priest.
nice.
Scored 4 points. Then bottom 1, Evan was held to 1 point. Evan, bottom 1, stayed so conservative in a bubble that when Owen won priority, just gave it away because there was 0 threat to him from how far the Khorne army was. There was nothing that could project out to threaten Bellicor. So Owen, very happy to just give away that turn. Evan has been super scared of these Bulgor the entire time.
Yeah.
And it really put him in a hole where he just hasn't projected any power into Owen, so he's basically dug a hole for himself.
Yeah, these missions like this where your territory extends all the way halfway up the board, if you don't plan ahead like in list building for how you're going to score a tactic turn 1, it can be real difficult. And against Beasts, like, yeah, it's always tempting to just castle up because you're always so afraid of the Bulgors coming in. But yeah, you probably can't stay too close together like that.
So here we have the Bulgor charge, charging into the Blood Warriors on the left-hand side, putting 9 mortal wounds into them, leaving 1 on 1 wound, and now he's going to then pile in to tag in these Skull Reapers. but he's not going to be able to swing with all of these Bulgors, so I'm not quite sure if he's able to be able to pick up this whole unit.
Do you know what he has him equipped with? Is it shields or?
It's axes and shields.
So I mean, with Bulgors in it, like it's real like. Sometimes they can just whiff on those 4s and 3s, but
The Skull Reapers, it's a unit of 10 of them. They're 3 wounds each, that's 30 wounds on a 4-up save.
that 4-up might not be enough.
Might not be enough. We are on turn 2, so that Hearthstone is giving them an additional 1 Ren.
Did he have bronze flesh on anything? Do you know?
The Bronze Flesh, that was on the Blood Warriors. So he put Bronze Flesh on 10 Blood Warriors, charging the Bellicor to make sure that he got his led into the Maelstrom tactic, thinking that, Bellicor is not going to be able to do anything. Just in case his Bloodthirster and Feathered Fury wiped a whole unit of 20 Ungor Raiders.
Yeah.
Bellicor killed 5 Blood Warriors. I've never had a Bellicor do more than like 2 wounds. I didn't know it was possible. But this is why he's the Owen Jackson.
Yeah.
So
That's just Owen dice.
here comes the big brick, the Bulls. Owen Jackson being a bully. And he's coming in. He just has axes and shields, so I believe that's just the cleaving axes they're armed with, right?
So the axes and the horns.
Oh, and
The horns are 1-inch range, so only the front row of horns. But they still do 2 mortal wounds on 6s to hit, same as the rest. So
huge. But the cleaving axe, 3 attacks each. 4s and 3s, -1, but -2 Ren because of the Hearthstone. 2 damage each. So we're gonna see if this is enough.
yeah, you don't tend to rate 4s and 3s attacks very much, but those Bulgors, when they're hot, they'll pick up anything.
Yeah,
So-
it's an all attack. They'll be on 3s and 3s. So very crucial swing here. Let's see. Any other notable games? I see the Gavin Tom Guan game is still going on. I don't think that game's ever going to end. We could probably come back Sunday.
Yeah.
And Soulblight versus OBR will still be going on.
Yeah, a round ends at 7:30, and we'll probably ask them then how round 3 is going in the game. But
Yeah, maybe they'll take a break, go to Olive Garden, come back.
I don't really know what else is going on.
And there is a belt match going on for Tough Crowd with Bart Kennelly versus Bread himself.
Oh. Is Brad playing Slanesh?
Yep, Slanesh.
Okay.
Against Bart's playing
I think he's playing Korn.
Korn. That's right, Slanesh and Korn in a belt match happening on another table.
So what else does Evan have down there? He's got Scarbrand.
He's got Scarbrand. There's a Slaughter Priest in the altar. The Bloodthirster and Feathered Fury is in the bottom left.
Oh.
That's his general. He's got the Claws of Karnak next to that. On the other side, on that right-hand side, there is another unit of Claws of Karnak. And then the 3 bodies on the right-hand objective is what's left of the 10-man Blood Reaper unit. They just had 7 die this turn. So far, Owen hasn't lost any units. He did have a 20-man Ungor Raider unit that had 16 die, but 4 lived and were able to just walk through those shadows and reappear at the bottom right of your screen. So, might even look to rally some of them back in the future turns.
Well, right now they're just scoring him surround and destroy, which is his tactic.
Yeah, so he'll be on a 4-point turn, and then depending on how many of these Skull Reapers die, he might be able to steal this objective. But
His Bray Shamans, he wasn't able to get one on a point for an extra point, was he?
yeah, it's at the very top of your screen. Turn 1, Evan made both the top and bottom objectives active, so Owen just popped the Bray Shaman up there.
Is there any chance he scores 5 this turn? Can the Bulgars kill enough to score 5?
We'll see. We do have Scarbrand towing that objective. There also is another hero back there.
That's 7.
That's already 7 bodies on the objective, so it depends on how many Skull Reapers die here, and then if the Skull Reapers kill any Bulgor here. And the key thing here is Bellacore has not used Dark Master yet.
Yeah.
So if Owen's able to win priority, he can go in, scoop up even more. I think what he really wanted to do is kill all of the Skull Reapers and then get into Scarbrand. But if Evan wins priority and takes it, absolutely going to see Dark Master coming out on Scarbrand.
Yeah.
He's going to say, no, not today. So I'm going to take a quick peek at the table, see exactly how many have died so far, and then we'll figure out how many Bulgur are about to die. You want to place bets on how many Bulgur are going to die?
One. I don't. Maybe two. That seems too optimistic. So 5 of the.
5 Skull Reapers died, so that's 15 wounds.
All right. That's maybe a little below average, but.
And Skull Reaper is about to swing back in Bulgur, which are armed with shields.
What's the attack profile on the Skull Reapers?
I was hoping you knew.
I play against Khorne. I don't play Khorne.
Who plays this army? I mean, Khorne, brand new army, right? We have no idea what they do here. Skull Reapers are 4 attacks each, 3s and 3s, Ren 1 damage. They do a vicious mutation.
But that's just the unit leader has a vicious mutation. So maybe 1 Bulgur dies. Maybe 1.
+1 to hit, since Bulgurs have 5 or more models.
And they do mortal wounds in addition to hit, so I'm still thinking 1. I'm still thinking maybe 1.
Yeah, it's only like 20 attacks, 1 damage each, some mortal wounds. So, probably just see like 1 or 2.
Yeah, this is a real pickle for Evan, though, because, like, if he wins Prio, the Scarbrand's not going in. If he loses Prio, then Scarbrand's in trouble, so... He's just going to have to hope Owen fails his 3-ups. But I don't think Owen fails 3-ups. So,
Owen is allegedly pretty good at the game,
yeah,
and I don't see him not rolling 3-ups.
yeah.
Oh, there goes 3 Bulgur.
3. That's a good...
No, it's 2. It's 2. Yeah, that's just 2 Bulgur dead.
Better than nothing.
So, didn't have enough bodies to get on the objective to contest it. Still a 4-point turn for Owen Jackson, going up 8-4 after 2 rounds. Both players rolling off for priority. Owen rolled a 2, and I believe his opponent won it. I can't read that
No,
die,
that's too
but
small.
it does look like Khorne won it.
Our man in the field, Leo, reporting that Khorne won the Prio, he said?
Khorne won the priority. Owen clearly a 2. Thought you said you could roll 3-ups. Owen not as good at Warhammer as we thought.
I might have put the bad juju on him, I don't know.
So now it's Owen's choice to determine which is the active objective. Still feel like in this case he leaves it as is, because just with the Enturion Locust, he's still just going to keep going up on points. So I don't see any reason to not have it the top and bottom objective.
Yeah, that blood Thirster and Fair Fury needs to get the action this turn.
Evan needs to make a lot happen this turn if he wants to get
Do you know
in
what the Blood Tithe count is? Maybe, yes, Leo. Tell him to write it on the sheet.
I think it's at 4. I think 4 units.
Maybe we can make him write it on the sheet.
Apparently just 2 blood type points right now.
So 2 units died, right? Maybe he's been murder lusting.
He might have been. He might have been.
That's unfortunate. If he had more blood tithe, he would have been able to fight, pick up some Bulgors in the hero phase. But
Evan's still figuring out the plan. Hasn't
if
chosen
nothing
battle
else,
tactic
he
yet.
needs to keep those Bulgors tied down, so they can't get another charge off and just wall up something for 7 mortal wounds.
I think we absolutely see the Dark Master used on Scarbrand, and then that Bloodthirster and Fitter Fury. It's gonna have to make a pretty decent charge. Not the most effective into Be'lakor because of ignoring all red.
Well, I was thinking it should go into the Bulgors.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the -1 to hit aura.
Like with those two, if those 2 objectives stay active, there's no reason to go over to Be'lakor. Whereas the Bloodthirster and Fair Fury can maybe put some damage on the Bulgors, count for 5 on that objective to keep it. And he needs to come up with some kind of game plan to eventually go to the other side of the table, because the way this mission works, if you keep winning pryos, which is what he wants to do, you're not going to choose which objective, so he's going to have to get up to the other side.
Yeah. Owen has also not lost a single unit so far.
Yeah.
So, Evan absolutely playing down right now. He's down by 4 points. He's chosen the battle tactic to kill something near the altar, so he has to kill these Bulgor this turn.
All right.
There's still a lot of beef on the objective.
A lot of beef. You said 2 died, so that's 28
Yeah.
wounds.
So we'll see if he can move them from the objective.
They just have to not be within 8 of it, right? You don't have to destroy the unit.
Corn? Play corn?
I think he has to get them outside of 8 of it. He doesn't have to get them dead.
Pick one enemy unit within 8 of your skull altar. You complete
Oh.
the spell tactic. That unit is destroyed during this turn.
Okay. I should have figured Korn would want to kill.
He's gonna have to ground beef this Bulgor unit.
Yeah. So he's going to have to go into it with everything. Slaughter Priest is probably going to try to do some mortal wounds to
Yeah,
them.
Sarpy's gonna have to come out with the steel chair.
Yeah.
Might even see those Claw of Karanak all the way on that right side. Just start wandering over. Any bit of damage he can get into it is gonna help. Couple finger pointing. I can only assume that is a Dark Master.
Yeah.
Here's the die roll.
Can't see it on the mat.
Looked like a 3 to me.
Yeah, but that was that hero phase or movement phase? We assumed that was hero phase.
I'll go confirm. We got the tape measure coming out saying like might be a movement phase, which is
But he's
huge.
rolling 1 dice like it might be for prayers. So
True. Maybe potentially preventing Scarbrand from getting the blood type movement in the hero phase. Yep, here the prayers going out. It does have the bleeding icon and Hexforger skulls. Bleeding icon, another one. I've got no idea what this thing does. Nobody.
Bleeding Icon is -2 to casting if you're within 8, and if they roll a
I thought
unmodified
that was
8.
Hexforger skulls with.
Oh no, you're right. Bleeding Icon is Horgast.
Ah, got it. Which could be good against.
That's it. He's gonna need it to get. What do you put out?
Just putting the Hexforger skulls out.
I guess. Maybe block some Be'lakor movement later. Yeah.
Well, Hexforger skulls.
I would have put out the Bleeding Icon, but
They do get to move at the start of the hero phases. Going to subtract 2 from wizards. And if you roll an unmodified 8 to cast, within 8 of it, you take d6 mortal wounds. And you no longer know that spell. So, potentially just looking to mess with Be'lakor a little bit, but don't really see it achieving too much this round. Bleeding Icon, on the other hand, units cannot receive the Inspired Presence scan while they're within 8. And if a unit fails a Battle Shock test with an 8, on a 1 through 5, you add D3 number that fleet. On a 6, you add D6 that fleet. No effect on core units. So,
Is Leo 3-0?
Leo is 3-0.
Nice.
He absolutely laid the dump truck on his last opponent with a 19-1 differential.
Yeah, that's what I scored too. What do you play in round 3?
Got no idea.
Okay.
And we had him on stream last round,
Yeah.
which was another huge one for him. So
Yeah, you told me he got revenge on the Giants for me beating him last year.
he did. He did
Yeah.
33 mortal wounds to one of the Gargants. With Spear Gale was one of the mortal wounds, but then a Merciless Blizzard and a Vile Transference,
Yeah.
leaving a Gargant on 2 wounds. So it looks like Owen already started rallying back some of his Ungor Raiders at the bottom right. Ungor Raiders not the greatest at shooting profiles at 4s and 4s.
Bloodthirster moved up.
Moving up, looking to get into those Doom Bowls.
It's really going to be the charge phase that he wants to. It is rolled for Scarbrand. Yeah, it looked like a 2 to me, so I think he's going to move Scarbrand. Now,
Able to move Scarbrand.
it's the movement phase isn't really what matters that much because Scarbrand charges 3d6 anyway. It's really the charge phase.
The charge and the combat phase. You
Yeah.
got 2 chances to say, not today.
And really, if he's going to accomplish that tactic, he probably should move in with more stuff. But it looks like he wants to chase down those guys that rallied in the corner.
I don't know if there's anything that can really contest with those Ungor Raiders in the corner. It's just that unit of Claws of Karanak over there.
Yeah.
You've already rallied back. Looks like you got 9 or 10 in that unit. I don't know if he's going to be able to really contest with that. Looks like he does want to go Tango with it. Beast of Chaos able to just kind of teleport from corner to corner of the table. Don't think that's necessarily going to accomplish a whole lot.
No.
Owen does go next, and then
One thing you gotta be careful to do in this mission is there's so much open table that is not circles, and you don't want to get your models too far away from the circles.
yeah, Owen can just teleport them away, put his fire into something else. Owen primarily looking to keep the objectives at the top and bottom of the screen, but still positioning enough.
No, so
to the
Owen
left and
rolled
right
for
that he's able
the
to.
Dark Master on Be'lakor. I mean, on a Scarbrand. It looked like a 6 to me on the dice.
He's so good at Warhammer.
Yeah.
So Bulgor is now being whipped by the Bloodthirster or Unfettered Fury.
Oh, that was the shooting phase, though, I guess. Does Scarbrand have a
it
shooting
was.
attack? I don't know.
Yes, he does. He's so mad he just blows hot fire. Here we go.
So he rolled and landed on the terrain, and I know Owen doesn't let the dice lay on the terrain. He wants to roll it flat.
Oh, that one rolled over the table. Bloodthirster.
So yeah, it looks like
Charging in.
Be'lakor did stop Scarbrand from charging.
Yeah. So he's gonna sandwich that Bloodthirster in between, so that way Bulgor can't necessarily pull Scarbrand in because he still has to roll to see if Scarbrand is able to fight in the combat phase. And if he's not able to fight, he could still pile into Scarbrand.
Yeah.
To just keep him tagged in combat. Although Owen does get to go next. So, interesting to see He's going to likely have to swing with these Skull Reapers first, which means all of the Bulgor that are left might be able to then swing into the Bloodthirster. And you never know in a dice game.
It looks like he's trying to put the Skull Reapers in front of Scarbrand.
So, 4 of them in combat.
So it'll be like 2s and 4s, but exploding like 6s to Immortals in addition. I think we said it'd be. Yeah, so maybe he can pick up another 2 from that. Maybe roll hot with the Bloodthirster.
1 hour left in the round. 1 hour.
1 hour left.
I'm gonna go look at Gavin and Tom. See how that's going.
The most boring game of all time. Zombies versus OBR. So that was Chris Schelling, Gargan player extraordinaire, on 3-0 here. From Harambe's Heroes down in Texas, checking in on fellow Harambe Hero members, Gavin Geiger, Tom Guan. We're looking to see if we get an update from that game. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the stream so far. We are still in the top of turn 3. Evan Markham's Blades of Corn versus Owen Jackson, Beast of Chaos. Owen currently ahead 8 to 4 points after turn 2, but currently in top of 3. Evan, one priority, needed to take it, needs to make something happen here.
I am not property, sir. We said to him,
Owen did respond with the Dark Master's turn on Scarbrand, preventing him from charging in. Evan's battle tactic is to eliminate this unit of Bulgors that was near his Skull Altar. Mr. Schelling is back with an update from the Table of Death.
Yeah, you might remember we just heard it's 1 hour left in the round, and they are at the bottom of turn 2.
Bottom of turn 2. Well, yeah, the first 2 turns generally do eat up the most of your clock
Yes.
time in a game. But how many bodies are still on that table?
It looked like too many. There was just a big mess of zombies and direwolves in the middle of that table, and the OBR was sort of on the periphery, just trying to chip away at it, looked like. And I caught a glimpse of their score sheet. I think Gavin was down 1 point. So, still close. But probably an uphill battle for him, considering there's only 2 objectives, and there's way too many zombies.
That is a lot of zombies. Now, we had Tom on stream twice yesterday during the Invitational. If you just want to see what too many zombies look like, you can check out
What
our
could be
Invitational
important is
streams.
that Gavin only has 1 Endorian Locust. Tom, I think, has 2 or
2.
3. Yeah.
Yep. Tom does have a Necromancer and a Vampire Lord in his
Yeah.
list. And here come the Bulgor swinging in to the Bloodthirster, trying to chip away at it. Still 5 Bulgors there. So this is important. If the Bloodthirster essentially needs to kill all of these Bulgor off in one swing. Otherwise, if a single Bulgor is left, he fails his battle tactic and has another 1 point turn going into Owen
Yeah.
bottom of 3.
Yeah, the
Looks
Bloodthirster.
like one Bulgor.
Yeah. That Bloodthirster is not a very high damage model.
It's great for the -1 hit bubble, but that doesn't help you kill anything.
No. And it's very unfortunate that he didn't get the Bleeding Icon out. The Bleeding Icon would have been the last chance for it to be salvaged.
How displeased do you think Korn is right now?
Yeah, he's pretty unhappy. I don't think did anything die this turn. No units died.
No. So there it is. The turn is scored up.
That's another way to play against Korn.
Point.
If you can really keep their blood type down.
So score now 8-5. Owen Jackson winning 8-5, but going into bottom of 3, Owen Jackson's turn. So Owen already ahead by 3 points. Going in to bottom of 3, his turn. Owen now looking to pad his lead. He's going to score at minimum 2 points this turn. 1 for controlling his home objective, and an extra point for controlling it with an Antorian Locus. So he's already going to be ahead 10-5 after 3, and we'll see if he gets his battle tactic this turn, as well as if he's able to even make a play for potentially pick up Evan's home objective, which I don't think he's going to, because Scarbrand's still down there.
At this point,
Darkmaster has fallen off of him.
At this point, I don't think Owen needs to bother with the home objective if he doesn't want to. He's so far ahead in points. He can easily go up to 12-5 this turn.
It is a point differential, so we'll see if Owen's feeling greedy.
Yeah, if Owen's feeling greedy, he could make a play on the point. Bilkor could see if he can roll hot again. But
Looks like Owen Jackson taking another toilet break. I don't know how many times this man has stepped away from the table.
But once you're up, if it's round 3 and you're up 7 points, then you can kind of just coast. Score your tactics, make sure you get your grand strategy. I don't know what Owen's grand strategy is. I assume it's devastating the Bray Herd.
Just a moment. I already forgot.
Desolating Bray Herd, I think it's called.
Desecrating Bray
Desecrating
Herd.
Bray Herd. So he has to, which means that.
That's the Hearthstone one. Keep the Hearthstone line?
No, he has to have 2 objectives that are not wholly within his territory, and he has to have the Bray Herd on each of them.
Got it. Makes sense now why he's really trying to protect all of his Ungor Raider units. You mentioned to me before when he committed the unit of 20 on the table at the bottom left, he was not happy having to commit so many Ungor Raiders on the table so early, but he needed to make sure he got out his Intimidate Invader battle tactic.
Can you check what Evan's grand strategy is?
It's the no wizard one. It's
Slaughter
sorcery.
Yeah, at this point, Owen could just deny that, score 4 each turn, and they walk away with it. As long as he doesn't let like Scarbrand go crazy in rounds 4 and 5, but
Evan's already had 3 full turns and is still turtled up on his home objective.
yeah.
He's got nothing that can project out, so even if the left and right objectives are active, what's really gonna shoot out there and take those? And if Owen's able to keep winning priority and keep dictating this top and bottom objective, Evan's got nothing.
Do you know where
Testing.
his Doom Bowl is?
His Doom Bowl was brought in on that top objective.
Okay.
So
He
it's
could get close enough to retreat the Doom Bowls and then just charge him back in if you wanted. Because you could charge in your combat phase with the Doom Bowl. He has like what, 5, 6 bowls left? Or is it right? Maybe only 3.
3 Bulgor left.
Only 3. So they probably do retreat. And with only 3 left, it's probably unlikely he charges back in, unless he really wants to make a play at killing the Bloodthirster.
They're just rolling for Primal Dice right now. Owen planning out his turn. Hasn't chosen a battle tactic yet. But Owen's still very much in the driver's seat on this one.
Yeah, I do see a lot of Corn players choosing that Slaughter of Sorcery grand strategy because you think, I'm Corn, I want to kill all the wizards.
Kill the wizards!
But in play, it's often really easy to deny that grand strategy.
Yeah, turns out you can't kill the wizards. You're gonna
Yeah.
have problems. Corn doesn't have the shooting to project any firepower.
You end
down
up
the board.
relying on Brass Meteors. And it's against a 5-win wizard, it's just 5 ups, 2 mortal wounds, and 8 dice.
Yeah, Corn's just too much of a melee army that you've got a wizard, you can just keep running away with him. Ah! So a lot of games starting to wrap up around here. But still quite a lot of games that are still going. We did have Aaron Newbaum and Greg Brewer play. Two guys coming all the way out from California, only to play each other round 3.
Well, that's usually how it goes between me and Gavin. We had a streak going last year. We kept playing each other every time we flew out somewhere.
Owen has chosen Magical Dominance, so he's looking to cast probably a single spell with that Bray Shaman all the way on his home objective and not get him bound. But he is in Unbind range.
Yeah, that Bloodthirster looks like it's in Unbind range.
So Owen probably looking at table
But
state.
tactics are surprisingly difficult on this mission.
Yep. Definitely looking around, thinking, don't have a whole lot of opportunities for tactics here. Taking what he can get. He's already ahead by 3 points. He's going to score another 2 points, pad that lead to 5. So even if he fails his battle tactic, he's still ahead by 5 points.
Yes.
If anybody's been just joining us, we're round 3, Nova Open. It's our final game of today. We still have 5 more rounds this weekend. We're streaming 3 more tomorrow, 2 more on Sunday. Might shake it up tomorrow morning. We're going to attempt to see if we can get a Kids Hammer game on stream here tomorrow morning.
I'm sure the kids would love it, as long as they don't get too nervous on the camera. But
Do we think we could pair one against you?
that seems hardly fair.
That was nuts. I took Magical Dominance, rolled a 7, and then just casually rolled 2 6s in a row on my primals to make sure that you couldn't turn him off.
Owen, so good at Warhammer! So good at Warhammer. Magical Dominance. Rolling a 7 to cast, then using his primal dice and rolling 2 6s. Now he cannot be unbound.
Yeah. That's just good Warhammer play. That's just high level tactics.
That is why he is a Worlds level player. He played on Team Wales this past year. Some of his Welsh teammates were in chat before. Some might still be here. Honestly, I do see Bart Kennelly still walking around with the belt, so it looks like he did defend his belt in the belt match against Bread. One could say he got toasted.
It looks like he won 12-8.
Well, that was a close one.
Close one.
The belt, so close. So we're currently in bottom of 3. Owen Jackson's Beast of Chaos playing against Evan Markham's Blades of Corn here. Owen into his movement phase now. Owen with a commanding lead. He's chosen Magical Dominance for his battle tactic this turn. Secured it. He does have his home objective with Anturian Locust, so he's going to score 4 points this turn, which is going to put him up to 12-5 at the end of this turn, so a 7-point lead after round 3. But we're still in the movement phase, the bottom of the league, so it's still quite a bit to happen. You see some Ungor Raiders on the right side of your screen. There's 2 units of them over there. There's a Claws of Karanak between them. He might try to just put all of his fire into there to just remove that unit. There's currently Bellicor, the Gorgon, and Morgor on the left-hand side. Owen's starting to run them up, get them into different positions. In the middle of the table is a Scarbrand a Bloodthirster Unfettered Fury, and 5 Skull Reapers. Those two are engaged with 3 Bulgor, who had come crashing in, finished off a unit of Blood Warriors, killed half of the Skull Reapers, and on Evan's turn tried to kill the Bulgor off, but failed to do so, failing his battle tactic. So, Owen lining up to see if his Gorgon can potentially make a charge into his Bloodthirster.
Someone I've been watching, Jeremy Hawk from Team Big Chungus, playing Monster Trucks 3-0 today. I believe he has 4 Stonehorns and 2 Thunder Tusks, and that's the army.
There's a couple folks from the Maryland groups, the Big Chungus. There's a Knights of the Pond team, but monster trucks are very popular in this area. I think there's 3 players running them, and it's just 6 monsters on the table. It's one of the most destruction lists you can have. I think the only more destruction list I've seen in this event was Bob Pisano, who just said 1 War Scroll, 4 Gatebreaker. Just that's it, as simple as I can get. But outside of that, just 6 monster trucks. Is that a list you like to pilot?
What?
Just 6 monster trucks?
That's a list I don't like to see across the table as a Gargan player. That's too many monster trucks for the regular guys to deal with.
Going into Owen's shooting phase, lots of Ungor Raiders on the right hand of our screen. And we'll likely start seeing some woods coming through. The first round of shots are in the Claws of Karanak on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And now, moving on to the right side, the first volley into the Claws of Karanak on the right side of your screen. There's about 40 minutes left in this round, still 2 full battle rounds left, but Owen's going to be ahead by 7 points after 3 rounds.
I'm eager to see Owens dice with these shots because the last time I played Beast of Chaos, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with those 4s and 4s. But it looks like he's doing some good work.
International superstar, the Owen Jackson, making his opponent roll quite a bit of saves here. And he is able to spread out some damage across multiple units of these Claws of Karanak, so if at anything else, he is forcing a battle shock test. I think a lot of players tend to kind of underestimate the value of a battle shock. You're able to spread damage across multiple units that have low bravery. You potentially get even more damage through on those battle shocks.
When you're playing against an army that has 7 or less bravery on units, it can be worth a lot to spread it around, force your opponent to make those rolls.
It looks like he's already picked up half that unit of the Claws of Karanak from just Ungor Raider. Oh, that's the full unit. That is top tier Team Wales Ungor Raider shooting at its finest. He is so good at Warhammer.
Well, was that a unit of 20 shooting, or?
So there's a unit of 10 at the top, and then the other unit at the bottom right was originally unit 20. The Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury originally got down to the bottom left, scooped up 16 of them. They then teleported to the other side of the board and rallied back. So not quite the full 20. There's looks to be about 10, maybe 11 or 12, but definitely not the full 20 he had before. And it looks like he doesn't even need the full 20. So I'll do it with what I got. We were expecting these Bulgor to retreat out and then charge, but Owen electing to just leave them in with the Bloodthirster, thinking maybe he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
He did run up that Doom Bowl all the way up to, he's now in those Wild Words towards the left. Looks like Owen's gonna try to go for the throat here. That Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury is the general. Look to potentially scoop him up. The only downside to killing this Bloodthirster, though, is that it does open up a battle tactic for Evan to get reprisal, and Scarbrand can just scoop up the Bulgor and score an easy battle tactic. Down it goes. Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury. Even with a -1 hit aura, it ain't enough. The Bulgors.
Yeah, he must have taken a lot of wounds last turn.
Those Bulgors had some beef with them.
Yeah.
Now, the Skull Reapers, for the third time, swinging into Bulgors. I haven't really seen Skull Reapers on the table before, and Evan brought a reinforced unit of 10, and I was really excited to see what are these going to do, because he had them in the middle of his entire castle. He was really adamant on protecting these Skull Reapers, and I haven't really seen much done from them.
Yeah. Well, I imagine all 10 of them with 30-something attacks probably do quite a bit of damage with doing Mortals and 6th edition. But only 5 of them have gotten to attack.
Looks like a single cow going down. Maybe by turn 5 he'll have killed the Bulgor. Or do you think that's too much of a bold prediction?
Well, he's only got 2 left.
Anything could happen here. Anything can happen in Nova. Do you think we'll see the Bulgor finally go down for the end of this game?
He was probably hoping they would die this turn, and Scarbrand would be free to charge Belcor or someone else next turn, but what we see now, though, is now the position is such that if Evan wins Prio into round 4, Owen can activate those 2 objectives on the sides, and Evan doesn't have a great way of scoring either of them.
Doesn't have much left, but he could potentially summon something with his blood type.
He should have at least 4 blood tithe now.
There you go. Belcourt was able to scoop up the remaining Closet Paranic on the left-hand side. So all we have remaining is, I believe, the Blood Cicator, 3 Skull Reapers, Scarbrand, and a Slaughter Priest. And Owen, I don't believe he's had a single unit die. So we've had the priority roll. Owen power stancing like a gorilla, looking at the table. I'm gonna get the update. See who exactly won priority. I have a feeling that Owen is going second in determining which he wants, but Owen might be determining whether he wants to come in and try to seal this.
Did Owen win it?
Schelling got it.
Here, Evan won priority.
He gave it away, of course.
Evan decided. No, Evan
Oh,
won
no.
priority.
Oh, he's an Evan. Yes.
Decided he needed to take it. The power stancing was Owen deciding which of these objectives to activate, and as you had guessed, he's doing the side ones. Well, I wouldn't say guessed. You made an intelligent deduction.
Yeah. So he's he probably won't be able to score the extra point for having a locust on objective, but it does make, yeah. Reprisals coming up.
As I suspected, since he killed the general with those Bulgor, he has opened up Reprisal, and Scarbrand is right there for the easy pickup on that battle tactic. So, easy battle tactic, coming right up, but he's now no longer on an objective. So, we're going to see if he's able to score anything. He might have the Blood Type in the bank that he could then summon something from the Skull Altar onto that right objective. It's because it's only within 16 to summon.
Yeah.
And there's only one Ungor Raider tagging that objective over there. So, could potentially see a 3-point turn from Evan. Not enough to get him back in the game. He's currently down by 7. This is the top of 1, game 3. Evan Markham, Blades of Corn, Owen Jackson, Beast of Chaos.
For Evan to have any chance, he has to take both objectives this turn.
And that's just have a chance.
Yeah. Because if he just scores the one, if he just kills the Bulgor, scores the other one by summoning, then he only gets 3 points. He'd be down 4 points still. And that's too many points to make up on round 5.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to stop Owen from scoring points either. He's just too far in the hole, and too much is tied up in combat right now that he can't even take those objectives and set himself up that Owen's going to have a hard time to score any points himself. He's in no position to deny any scoring from Owen. Scoring on this one, you've got 1 point for the activated, additional point if you control both activated, and then additional point if you contest with a locus and no enemy locuses.
So where's Bellicor?
Bellicor's all the way on the left-hand side of the screen.
It's not even on the objective.
Not even on the objective.
Because he does score extra points for killing wizards.
You get 1 point around. So even if he kills both wizards in one turn, he's only going to be able to score 1 point for that. And I don't think he's anything that he can even touch Bellicor. And there's no way he's getting to that Bray Shaman.
Yeah, with Bellicor being off the objective, that's smart play by Owen because that way Scarbrand can't charge Bellicor and be on the objective.
And Owen does have that Gorgon on the objective on the left, which is a monster, so even if Evan was in a position where he could just try to just auto-run a monster on there, he still wouldn't outnumber it. In a game of standing on circles, Owen is doing a fantastic job of outstanding. Just tuning in, we have Owen Jackson playing Beast of Chaos versus Evan Markham, Blades of Corn. We've got the Welsh playing against the Californian. Owen is ahead 12 to 5 after 3 rounds. We're currently in the top of 4. It is Evan's turn. His battle tactic is Reprisal. Those Bulgor you see on the bottom center of your screen have killed his general last turn. The Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury went down to them. Evan, with the quick choice of Reprisal, is going to be able to easily pick up those Bulgor. But he's got a long road ahead of him. This is Power Flux. So currently, only the 2 side objectives are active. And it's a huge lead. I think with a 7-point lead on Power Flux, Owen has it in the bag right now.
Yes. Because Evan would have to score 4 each turn, at least, and deny Owen points. At this point, that's too hard.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any position where Evan can effectively deny Owen from scoring for the rest of the game.
Never mind the fact that Owen can easily deny Owen's Grand Strat, and the other way around. Owen can easily deny Evan's Grand Strat,
Yep.
and Owen should be able to get his.
And that unit of Bulgor that you just saw die at the bottom middle of your screen, that is the first unit for Owen that has died.
So it looks like he killed him in the hero phase.
Yeah, he might have used the War Scroll pair from the Slaughter Priest on the altar to do D6 mortal wounds.
Yes. It is differential scoring. So no matter how grim it looks, Evan should keep playing.
Yeah, it's differential here. We have 164 players playing in an 8-round GT with a top 8 cut, and there is a chance that even on a 4-1, if you've held your loss to a very small loss and had some big wins, that you could squeak into a top 8.
Yes.
So every single point that you can score matters. And every single point that you can deny your opponent matters for your point differential as well. So it's not just about scoring any point that you can, but any single point that you can deny your opponent helps your differential. So looks like Scarbrand's moving up, making sure he's outside of 9, preventing any sort of redeploys. Looking to charge in, get the Gorgon picked up, and secure that objective. All of the lists are in BCP. We don't have them posted anywhere else right now. But Owen did have a Bellicor, a Great Bray Shaman, a Doom Bull, and then he had a unit of 9 Bulgor, 20 Ungor Raider, 10 Ungor, a Gorgon, I believe another, and a unit of Ungor too. Everything was tied up in one battle regiment, so he was a 1-drop. Evan's list was a Bloodthirster and Fettered Fury as his general. He also had a Scarbrand, 2 Slaughter Priests, a Blood Secretor, 10 Skull Reapers, 2 units of Paws of Karanak, a Blood Reaver unit, and a Blood Warrior unit, and then 2 of the Invocations. And he took the command entourage for the extra prayer for each of his priests. But what we saw is Evan deployed very much in a tight castle. Owen had put Bellicor on the table and then walked away to go get some water. Evan then had to deploy his entire army, and Owen took turn 1, went up 4 points. Evan was a bit too concerned about the Bulgor being a threat, and stayed too contained in a castle and posed absolutely no threat to Owen.
It looks like Evan just made a real long charge on the Doom Bull with those Skull Reapers.
Huge, and he's got Scarbrand in on the Gorgon.
But I don't think Evan got anything on the right objective.
Nope. So he's looking at potentially just claiming this left objective, scoring his battle tactic, and picking up a 3-point turn.
And getting closer to Owen's Wizards. That is important.
That is important. He's got the Bray Shaman, which came in top of 1 to the top of your screen, and has not moved at all. Now, we saw the Skull Reapers struggle to kill a bunch of Bulgors. you think they stand any chance of trying to pick up a Doom Bowl? Or do you think the Doom Bowl is just going to go, and clap them back? Also, with Scarbrand and the Gorgon, it's now round 4, so that Gorgon is up to red 3 on all of its profiles. I don't think either of these units have strike first, so whatever Evan activates with first, the other unit's going to get hit. And the Doom Bolt and the Gorgon on round 4, getting an extra 2 rends from that Herdstone, that's going to hurt. And I think there's a chance that whatever he doesn't swing with might get lifted. Might not even get the swing.
Looks like a pretty good roll for the Skull Reapers.
I just don't see it being enough damage output to go into that Bulgor. That Doom Bowl, I should say.
Oh, Scarbrand picked up the Gorgon.
Huge.
He must have had some kind of fight first or fight last effect going on, because he was able to fight with the Skull Reapers and the Scarbrand.
Yeah. Is that perhaps something from the blood type table that we're missing? Skullfiend Tribe. Thank you, chat.
I've never played against Skull Fiend Tribe.
If it makes an unmodified charge at 8+ for a friendly Skullfiend Tribe Bloodbound unit, the strike first effect. So
Oh, that long charge really
the
paid
Skull
off.
Reapers.
Yeah. They weren't able to pick up the Doom Bolt, looks like, but
And Owen was able to pick up, looks like 2 of them in return. So, the 3-point turn, scoring a reprisal for finally killing those Bulgors, and then securing the left objective with Scarbrand. And now we're going into bottom of 4, Owen Jackson's turn. Currently ahead by 4 points, but will easily pick up at least 1 point for having that right objective, and we'll see if he wants to run up his lead anymore by making a play for that left-hand objective. We're likely going to see a finest hour out of Scarbrand. Not sure if Owen really has anything that's be able to lift Scarbrand this turn.
I think I'm going to get going.
Thank you so much for joining us. That was Chris Schelling, member of the Crown Base Heroes, Gorgon player extraordinaire.
Yep.
Any last words?
No, I mean it's been a great tournament so far, and looking forward to day 2.
That's Chris Schelling. It's probably the most I've ever heard him talk in person. He's usually a very quiet man. Pleasure to have him here. He's currently at 3-0. Get an update from the table soon. Check the blood type situation. And I'll get back to you in just a moment. Alright, so we're currently sitting on 2 blood type points here for Korn. Owen Jackson about to take bottom of 4 here, has chosen 8 of the Wilderness. Needs to have 2 units holding cover outside of his territory. Does have those units of Raiders at the bottom left-hand side. Easily will be able to get into cover. Also, plenty more Ungor Raiders all over the table. It's measuring out for heroic actions, spells. So, currently ahead by 4. The current score is 12-8 in favor of Owen Jackson's Beast of Chaos over Evan Markham's Blades of Corn. Owen still has to score for this turn. Will score a minimum of 1 point for just controlling that right-hand objective. And if he's able to secure his battle tactic, which he very confidently seems to be, that he'll be able to score it. So likely 3-point turn, maintaining his lead by 7 points from the prior round. And if he's able to do that, I think the game's already over. But Evan's still fighting for every point, which is why we're still playing on, because it's point differentials here at Nova Open. Every single point matters. So, and in case you missed any of our coverage, we had a 4-round invitational yesterday. We streamed 4 rounds of coverage yesterday. We also had 2 rounds of coverage today. All those videos should be under, if you go to the same YouTube channel and look under live, you should see our prior broadcast. So this is our 7th game here. We also have 3 more to go. We'll be streaming 3 more games tomorrow, and then we'll be streaming 2 more games on Sunday. Rounds 4 and 5 tomorrow. Still a bit up in the air. No idea what we'll stream. Potentially might have a fun game on tomorrow morning. Taking a pause right here. James O'Brien talking over the loudspeaker. And then round 5, we'll probably look to have some undefeated players on who are vying to make that top 8 cut. So round 5 probably going to be a nice close one. And then after that, there'll be a hour-long break after round 5 tomorrow. Well, they'll be seeding everybody into 8-player pods. So your traditional top 8 cut, but then everybody else will be put into 8-player pods, depending on how they finished. And they'll be able to play out rounds 6, 7, 8. So every single person that came, 164 players, will be able to play 8 rounds. So much Warhammer. Love to see it. Some of these players did play an invitational that we had yesterday. 2 of them, making it all the way to the final. So we do have some players that might end up playing 10, 11, even 12 games of Warhammer this week at Nova Open. There also was a doubles and an RTT yesterday. Some of these players already played 3 games yesterday. So, most of these players might end up with 11 games under their belt here too. So, Scarbrand on the left-hand side did get Bronze Flesh before he sent himself all the way out there. Did Finest Hour, so he is currently on a +2 to save. Bellicourt towing on the objective right now, but still needs to get one more body tagging it. Evan trying to redeploy the Scarbrand up, so that way the Doom Bull cannot retreat out of combat and tag the objective. Owen measuring out to see the range on the Skullter. There is a Solder Priest still in that Skullter towards the bottom. Owen taking a look, seeing if he wants to potentially shoot into there, deciding not to, and just moving up, making sure he's getting as many bodies on that objective as he can. I assume he's putting one within 3 inches of the objective, because Korn can still summon with Blood Tithe. So as long as there's a hero down there or the Skullter, there is a threat that he can summon just pretty much anything onto that objective to that right side. But you have to summon more than 9 inches away, so Owen tagging one of those Ungor Raiders within 3 of the objective to prevent any sort of summon onto it. So there's 2 units of Ungor Raiders in the bottom left that are sitting there in that ruins, securing his battle tactic of Aid of the Wilderness, being wholly within cover. Looks like he might be foregoing trying to cap that left-hand objective, and will be content on just scoring his battle tactic and 1 point for holding the right objective. We got 3 more games tomorrow, 2 are on Sunday. Round 6 will be streamed tomorrow. That'll be the last round of tomorrow. Round 6 will be looking to exclusively cover our top 8. So round 6 tomorrow, and then round 7 and 8 on Sunday, we'll be looking at just streaming our top 8 matchups. So there's no way that we're not going to stream the final here at the Nova Open GT. So if you're looking for the top of the top, the cream of the crop, you better be tuning in the rest of the weekend. But if not, be sure to catch us on Sunday for the finals. If you're not able to watch live, you can always come back. All of the live streams are being recorded here and are available on this channel. Got a bit of a Warhammer celebrity over here watching the game. Jawan Noah Singh, currently on 3-0. Noah having a great time here. Looks like his voice is pretty shot himself. Tough crowd. Always sore winners, loud losers. Or is it the other way around? I'm sure somebody will correct me. Looks like we're going to be heading in to the final round. Just going to get an update from the table where we stand. Owen scoring up right now. Did score 3 points. So the score is currently 15-8. So Owen with a 7-point lead. I don't think there's any way that Evan can deny Owen's grand strat. Potentially, he does need to control 2 of these objectives outside of his territory. He's got a lot of Ungor Raiders, but there's no way that really Evan can secure his own grand strat, which is kill all of these wizards. He'll have Bray Shaman all the way at the top of your screen, and then there is Bellicourt on the table, but Scarbrand very close to Bellicourt. Scarbrand very capable of just picking up a Bellicourt on his own. The issue is just that single Bray Shaman all the way at the top. which is going to spell doom for Evan's grand strat. Owen, the commanding 7-point lead, essentially has the game in the bag. But with a point differential, both players just playing it out. And I'll see what the board state is. It looks like Evan might be taking top of 5. I believe it's the top and bottom objectives that are active, but I'll get some confirmation on that in just a moment. So, Owen having to go first here. The top and bottom objectives are the active ones. Owen taking a look at the board, doesn't think he can score any battle tactics, and has just crossed off on the score sheet for going to battle tactic. Will definitely be able to pick up 2 points for having his own objective and having it with an Antorian Locus. Already ahead by 7, we'll extend it to a 9-point lead, and we'll see what Evan's able to pick up. So, round is coming to an end soon, but I'm sure they'll let these players play on a little bit. Our TOs here always love to prefer that these games reach a natural conclusion. I'm sure on Evan's bottom of 5, they'll probably just fast forward and talk through a lot of what will happen. There's not much left on the table, but Owen's got a big turn here because he wants to score as much as he can here, which is the 2 points to hold his 1 point, having it with the Locus. See if there's any potential way that he could pick up his opponent's objective. But he also wants to set himself up to get his grand strat as well. So, Owen taking a look at the book. Evan there with him, taking a look, see what the grand strat situation is, because Evan's also going to want to know, what is your grand strat? What exactly do you have to achieve for that? Because Evan needs to piece together, is there any way that he can possibly deny it? Owen's grand strat is Desecrating Brayherd. When the battle ends, he completes it if he controls 2 or more objectives, and those objectives are contested by any Brayherd units. So, just any 2 objectives if they're contested by any friendly Brayherd units. And essentially, almost everything on the table is a Brayherd for him. He's got all of those Ungor Raiders in the bottom left. He's got some on the objective on the right. He's also got the Bray Shaman and Ungors on the top center. So both players talking it out to see if there's any way that any plays that even Evan can make potentially deny these grand strats. Pop over, see what they're thinking. update from the table. So Owen, top of 4, doesn't have a battle tactic he needs to achieve, but thinking it through, Evan's grand strat is the hatred of sorcery, the kill all of the wizards. So the Bray Shaman at the top of the screen is already taken some wounds, and he's concerned that with a Brass Meteor, that Bray Shaman might die. So what he's elected to do is just auto-run Be'lakor into a corner, and he's got 2 units of Ungor Raiders that he's surrounding him with. So that way there's no way he can kill Be'lakor. It is Operation Keep Be'lakor alive at all costs. This is top of 5. The score is 15-8 in Owen's favor. He's got a 7-point lead. And they've already talked it out. There's no way Evan can win it, because there's no way he can score enough points to take the win off of Owen here. So Owen will be the winner of this one, but it's point differentials, which is why they're still playing on. So they're still scrapping for every single point, because even on a loss, you could keep the score tight enough that you could potentially sneak into that top 8 bracket. So it's exactly what he's doing here, just turtling up, making sure that his opponent can't score their grand strat. And looks like Owen might be foregoing his grand strat in the process, because he's going to have to control 2 objectives with Brayherd, and he's now consolidated all of his Brayherd into that corner and then also into that top objective. So the active objectives are that top one and the bottom one. So what Owen is doing is saying, you're not going to be able to kill Be'lakor and the Bray Shaman this turn, so I'm going to deny your grand strat. In addition, if Scarbrand goes to that top center objective, you have to kill 2 units of 10 Ungor, which Scarbrand could do. I'm concerned that Owen did put them tight enough that he might be able to fit Scarbrand in between and split his attacks. So it might be a slight misplay there, but Owen will be just picking up 2 points here. 1 for having his own objective, and an extra point for having it with a locus. These objective markers, I believe, are the 3d6 Wargaming objective markers. So 3d6 Wargaming makes these objective markers. They make them in all sorts of colors too. These actually have a set just like this, but just in a slightly different color. And I love them. But there's also a lot of companies that make mats like this, but the 3d6 Wargaming is where you can find these exact ones. So we finally see the bleeding icon coming out from the Skull Altar. It's going to prevent any battle shock immunities. So Evan's looking to try to remove enough of these Ungor Raiders that he's able to take that objective and score 2 points here. I'm going to check on the battle tactic. Owen did not have a battle tactic, so he's not able to score that. But I'm going to check to see what he's got going for him right now. So Evan's battle tactic is trial something. Just took a quick peek at his score sheet. Gonna pull that up for you. Oh, we have the news here. Let's sit down for
Yeah, sure.
how your boy Evan Markham is doing. You want to hear how it's
Yeah,
going?
how's it been going? I just finished a close BOC versus BOC mirror match that I took by 1 point, so I'm pretty tired out.
So Evan Markham, currently in bottom of 5, finish out this game. His battle tactic, Trial Skulls, so he's got to, if 8 or more enemy monos are slain by attacks this turn, he's going to get it. He's positioning Scarbrand to go do that easily.
What's the score looking like right now?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
The score is, Owen just finished his turn. He's got 17 points.
To Evan's,
8.
Oh. Okay, so he's just playing for tactics.
He's just playing for the differential
All
at
right.
this point.
Well, Evan, if you ever look at the replay, we love you. He tried.
So it looks like he could potentially pick up a 4-point turn here. If he's able to kill enough of these Ungor Raiders
Yeah.
to be able to not only secure his battle tactic, but then also claim both of these objectives, which would then put it at a 17-12. But Owen wisely on his turn just ran Be'lakor in the corner, put 2 units of Ungors in front of him as a screen to say, I'm going to deny your grand shot.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, I think why, even though Khorne is like a solid army, I think it struggles because of the grand strat. And they have to choose between like taking a wizard or not taking a wizard, and it's just, I think, although Khorne is forgiving in the fact that like it can easily get 5 tactics, and even if most of their army's gone, they can always come, they always have a way to come back in the game. They just don't want to lose everything too early.
How are you enjoying it here on the East Coast, the best coast?
It's been pretty, I don't know about best coast, but it's been pretty fun. You know, it's always good seeing my homie right here.
Yes.
You know, last year we met.
He's pointing to me, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had to come back after, like, you know, hanging out with, you know, Emma and everybody last year, and then I had to see the AoS narrative again because it just looks amazing.
Always, those tables are gorgeous. We actually had Matt Tucker, who's one of the TOs over there, come by earlier and talk to us a little bit about it too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, like, definitely we'll get around to posting pictures. You guys should all look at it on, like, Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now.
They used to call it posting a tweet, but you might be able to post an excrement.
yeah, you know what? Same thing. But yeah, enough about that. But yeah, like it's been a great time here. I had to see everybody. I had to come back again, and yeah, and you know it's always fun seeing Emma shoutcasting because she really brings it to the stream with her knowledge and just her memery.
I'm trying.
At least you got an interest. You've been getting interesting games, right?
We've been trying to pick them good. I think the last round we had was probably the largest margin of victory.
Yeah.
But this is now the 7th game, and the other 6 have all been super close. Like generally about 5 points.
That's good.
So we have some pretty incredible games on.
It's not like you've had to put. I love Tom Guan, but you didn't have to put like stream 2 games of Tom Guan in a row like yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. After yesterday, so basically I kind of put a rule down on the stream today, which was I wasn't going to stream anybody from the Invitational, which kind of broke that with Owen here, but
yeah.
We saw an opportunity to put 2 armies we haven't had on yet.
Yeah. And it's an interesting matchup, so.
And the other rule was no OBR on stream today.
Although I will say, I was watching Gavin and Tom's game, and it's actually super close. Like, Gavin's only ahead by 1 point, so maybe that would have been an interesting stream
Gavin's
game.
ahead?
Yeah, by 1 point.
Whoa.
Yeah, especially I think OBR gets Soul Blight. It's actually hard on Pulse, or not Pulse, but whatever this mission is.
Tom has not lost a single game with zombies so far. It
Yeah.
is Gavin, Harambe's hero himself, going to take it.
Yeah, it's the Harambe Civil War. We'll see.
Could have had a Harambe cast it too.
Yeah, and whoever loses the game, they get to terrorize the lower brackets.
Well, that's the thing. There's 164 players. We might have a 4-1 in the top 8 cut, right?
I think if they lose low enough, but they score high enough in all the other games, they can make it.
And that game, whoever loses that game, sounds like it's going to be so close that
like
that differential is going to be real tough.
I think the differential for their game, whoever wins, probably gonna be like 11-9 or something like that.
Yeah, and both those players have the capability of just blowing out other players.
Yeah.
They should be at the top of that 4-1.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely, they could still sneak it into the top 8.
I still think both those players definitely capable of both making it to the top 8, regardless of who wins or loses that game.
Yeah, and I think
we have a final score update. The final score: 17-11. The Owen Jackson Beast of Chaos.
Owen, get in here!
Evan Markham.
Oh yeah, I had like a trick. So I had a proper Beasts player like analysing my plays there.
I just came in, so I just came to the end of it.
To find out how his teammate was doing.
Evan played amazing. He's a really good player.
Yeah,
I was really impressed.
He plays against me a lot for BOC, and hey, but you got a little payback. I was hoping my teammate would edge it.
I think the Bulls did a lot of work in that game.
Do you think there was anything that Evan, might have done differently that might have shaken the game up? To me, it looked like he deployed very conservative, and his turn 1 was just so far back that he didn't put any threat onto you. When you won the turn 2 priority, it was just, I'm just going to give it away because there's nothing that could.
I think that if he opens up too much, though, then I can pick him off. So I don't know. Yeah, I thought his opening was pretty good, and he can I was just trying to deny him his battle tactics, to be honest with you. And what he did really well early was like not allow me to pick off his cheap stuff. So like I shot all the off the board shooting into a 2-up save -1 to hit Blood Secretor, which is terrible.
But it worked out.
The best early play was D6 mortal wounds into the priest, and then all the shooting to pick off the blood sacrifice. But yeah, Evan, that was great, man.
That was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun.
Yeah, get in here. We're all winners in this stream.
I don't think there was anything really different that you could have done. There was some like the stream didn't pick it up, but all those clutch rolls that you had like a re-rollable 2-up for Bloodbind.
2-up to Bloodbind to get easy play, so I don't have to overextend and still kind of get something done. That was the main thing, was like trying to pick off the pieces you overextend, or what you showed me, but without having to brick my castle. Like trying to Bloodbind turn bottom of 1 was my goal, and to then put my Reapers inside the garrison to then just obliterate that 20 blend bomb. And then I still had the claws to then still screen out to prevent bulls from coming in if you want. But didn't go. 2s re-rolling into 2s was bad.
Roll better.
Roll better. I know, right? That's the end of the day.
Yeah.
And also, my last round was Khorne as well, so I was kind of in the groove.
Yeah.
And I've played 3 tournaments with Khorne this year. So
Because you could have fed me all the tithe to then do everything I wanted to do, but you didn't have to.
Yeah, I think that just gives you the edge in the matchup if you play both armies, because I think Khorne, what they hates the most is it's kind of like a melee castle in a way. So if you kill their screen early, they hate having to overextend early. Which is what you
exactly.
did.
Yeah, and that was like the only change I think I could have made was with my Blood Warriors just push more to the middle early and just kind of put that pressure that I'm going to get to your point until you drop your army. So that was my only change I would probably make. I could still shrink the corners.
Yeah. I have no criticisms for the way you played, man. You played fantastic. But it was like the little things, like you had a couple of clutch ones on your prayers.
Yeah.
And then when I had a risky play, which was magical dominance, you had 2 blood tithe to automatically stop it.
Yeah, but I needed to save my Thirster because I had to get murderless to protect my Bloodthirster, so I'll sacrifice 2 tactic just to keep presence on the board.
Yeah. And then I just busted out 2 6s on my primal dice with 2 rolls.
Didn't matter.
Easy game, right?
Yeah,
easy game.
Yeah, just roll 6s.
If I roll 6s and you roll 1s, then I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
But this means that Tom has to nerf BOC again because they're way too strong, right?
Fuck you.
It's all about the play, baby. It's all about the
Although, I will say, a little off topic, it looks like you got some secret admirers. They're saying how fit you are. You want to show them the guns?
No, I have no guns. I know who that is. That's Adam Kunis.
Okay, all right.
The only guns are the Ungol Raiders.
All right, sounds good. Hey.
One more thing, OJ. Show off your socks.
There've
been a lot of
They're very plain socks today. We just got black socks. Just like my soul. Dark. Maybe tomorrow was a special outfit. You saw my outfit yesterday, so I might rock that again tomorrow. Looking forward.
Hell yeah. Well, before we end, let's take a little group selfie.
The nude.
I'm so
Friday night.
so basic. All right, how do I like this?
How does the stream?
You've got this. You've got this.
All right.
Come on.
All right. Yeah, like that. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right, let's do it.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
So is that you're the west side?
All right.
Yeah,
it's fun commenting with you a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do more in the future.
Pretty
good.
Maybe you gotta finish your games quick and then you pop on over.
Hell yeah, I'll do that again in the future. And good seeing you.
Good seeing. Neither of us lost any games today, right?
Yeah, undefeated.
So this is it. End of round 3 today of our coverage. We'll be back tomorrow with 3 full rounds. Round 4, round 5, round 6. Sunday we'll finish it out with round 7 and 8. 4 rounds already in the books from yesterday from the Invitational, and then rounds 1, 2, and 3 wrapping up today. It's a couple games wrapping up right now. Some judges headed to tables so they didn't get in those scores. But we'll be back. Round 4 tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time will be round 4 start. I did post a schedule of games you can find on my Twitter at YesNoSomething. Look through. I did post a schedule of all of the start times for all of the rounds, and we'll be streaming all of these games. I don't know how Math Mallow has done. I don't think I have it up on my phone right now, but I'll try to get some results in. From my understanding, he's been doing very well today. But we're going to wrap this up. It's been a long 2 days, and we're going to catch you all tomorrow Love you all. And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time for round 4. Catch you then.